dust and flame. Every soul remembers why. Steel and shadow mark the ground. Every step a chosen fate. On the field where legends meet, we stand before the gate. Hear the echo of the drums below. Every heartbeat counts the same. When the signal hits, we let it go. No retreat, no shame. Summon to Valhalla. We fight, we fall, we rise. On the edge of every moment, with fire in our eyes. Summon to Valhalla. No fear, no turning back. One roll decides the future. On the edge of the attack. We rise tonight. Banners are waving, shattered life. Alliances of steel and bone. Every move a sacrifice. No one wins this war alone. From the jungle, from the stone, from the frost and burning sand, we were never meant to kneel, we were meant to stand. Every marker on the line, every choice we can't erase. When the dice begin to fall, fate reveals its face. Summon to Valhalla, we follow, we fall, we rise. Across the fields of battle, under broken skies. Summon to Valhalla, no fear, no turning back. One roll decides tomorrow. On the edge of the attack. Raise the power, feel it grow. Ancient forces breaking through. If we fall as one. If we win, we're something new. Legends aren't just born in flame. They're carved in dust and pain. When the silence finally comes, they'll remember our name. Higher, closer. Now we ignite. Summon to Valhalla. We fight, we fall, we rise. Let the battlefield remember how we owned the night. Summon to Valhalla. No fear, no turning back. From the dust we rise as legends. On the edge of the attack. We rise. Valhalla.
Welcome to, as we count down to 2 and 1, 2, TOV Live. It is, as we say here, Valhalla time. Yes, it is. My goodness, that song, I love playing that song every once in a while as a countdown stream, because that just, it might not be your favorite song. I love it because it just pumps me up. All right, let's get to it. Guys, we have, well, we got 4 scenarios for the price of one for this month. So let's get to it. My goodness, it's, yes, you see my face. I'm just overwhelmed there. It's absolutely insane. And actually I didn't realize it. We'll get into it in a second. But okay, let me drop this. Let me drop this banner. Okay, hello, happy Wednesday. I know we're starting a little bit later than normal was kind of busy earlier this evening. But yeah, we're getting started. Welcome. Happy Wednesday evening, Wednesday night to all of you. We are in for a night, folks. And address the chat in a second. My goodness, you guys are making me tear up because I'm just seeing like, the chat just piling up there. Getting ready to read these things. Finally released this week. Heroscape Expeditions, the new type of story and scenarios for Heroscape Secrets of the Citadel. Wow. It's a lot to take in, and even William was saying, like in the Renegade chat, he's like, I was thinking of you when we dropped all of these. I'm like, thank you so much for thinking of me, and just thinking, yeah, he's gonna be overwhelmed. Yep, that's and I didn't even realize I just downloaded the rulebook at like initially early this week. I didn't read the website very well. I just thought it was just the rule. I'm like, okay, just doing the rule book for this month. I didn't realize there was 4 other scenarios until like today. I'm just like, wait a second, I need to double check this. Oh, okay. So we actually have 5 things we got to read through. I'm like, okay, well, I'm definitely gonna have to table the G.I. Joe thing again. I don't know when I'm gonna read the G.I. Joe thing. It might be like next Wednesday or something. I'm gonna try and finish. Like, we're gonna do 3 of these tonight, and then Sunday night we're gonna do 2 more of these things because, yeah, I definitely don't be up all night. Going through these things. My brain don't want to be able to take it. So we will be going through these 3 scenarios. I asked for the sequence, and apparently the sequence story-wise is this one first. Is this one, and this one is where's the darn title? Path to the Citadel. And then this one, which is, let me see if I can find the scenario. I guess I should have had names right in front of me. This is the Gates of the Citadel, I think. I think so. And so it's a rulebook though. Rulebook 1 is the second one, and then the third one in sequence is Frost Bitten Forge. So I'm going to try and go in sequence tonight with these, even though it'd be nice. Well, maybe I'll just read some of the rulebook and then wait until I get to the scenario. We'll cover rulebook and then first scenario. I won't cover the rulebook scenario until we get to the actual first scenario. But I think it'd be good to read the rules starting out. What do you think? Nice pictures. It's it's nice. Nice if you get this printed out too. I think someone had printed it out. But before we get started with actually addressing the rulebook as well, let's look at the chat. The chat's kind of a little bit lively tonight, a little bit lively. So we got Warpig first in the Twitch chat saying might not be it would be short night for me. Gotta get up super early tomorrow. That's okay, War Pigment. That's okay. That's understandable. I know. I started a little late tonight. I know. Usually I'd start a little bit early for things like these, but I had to start a little bit late, unfortunately. And we got Billy Rager first in the YouTube chat saying, welcome, Heroscapers. Yes. And Justin there in second, going to be a good one. Yes. And Warpig doing the handpig waving. And Nick, Nolan Nick is there. I'm here at work listening. Good. I hope I didn't burst your eardrums there when I'm alone. I'm home alone at home here, so I can kind of be a little bit more vocal tonight. I don't have to keep make sure everybody's sleeping. So it's not going to be soft voiced Ryan tonight. It might be a little bit more energetic tonight. So that's good. And we also have Sean Carnegie there with face purple, wide eyes. Yes. Good to see you in the chat there. And then we got Sir Daniel Chance Battlebrow saying expedition time. Yes, it is. So good to see you there, Daniel. Yes, good to see you. Good to see people active there in the chat. And we will get started. You can be loud, that's fine, says Nick. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know. Like I said, like I said. I don't know why I say that. I hear myself saying that often in my recordings, and I need to stop saying that. It's one of those like vocal tics that I have that's starting to annoy me. But no family's at home now. And typically during the evening times, families like in bed or sleeping, so I gotta keep my tone kind of down a little bit when I'm streaming. But tonight and Sunday night will be an exception. I am all alone except for me cat. Me cat's still here. But other than that, yes, I can disturb the cat just fine though. That's fine. So hopefully I can be a little bit more vocal tonight, and it's fine because we got a lot of fun. Hopefully a lot of fun story. I have yet to even go through this, so it's just going to be, again, it's first look, first react on things. So how about, since we've covered all these formalities, how about we get started? And we'll start again with the rule book. Let's see if these rules, let's see what William's concocted up here. William and the team at Renegade, what they have done here. What have you done? It's a nice little bit of artwork there. Pew 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 pews. Nice and expedition there. That gimbal. All right, Expeditions Game Guide. Let's look at this. All right, it says, beneath Valhalla's storm-ravaged surface lies the subterranean realm of caverns known as Murkheim, where the gates of the Citadel have just been rediscovered. The massive buried city is full of diabolical traps and unthinkable inventions left behind by the Irelar. If I'm saying that right. I'm sure I expect me to butcher names tonight. I'm just saying. I'm probably going to be butchering names. The distant ancestors of the Kiri and the creators of the Wellsprings. Now, all of Valhalla looks to the Citadel for answers. Whether you're searching for an end to the Wellspring storm raging on Valhalla's surface, or seeking ancient secrets and powerful artifacts that could ensure your triumph, the Citadel offers boundless mysteries yet to be exhumed. But if you are not quick, others might seize the secrets of the Citadel. First, can you lead your expedition party to victory? All right, and okay, and Sean Carnegie is saying some things, but let me address that question momentarily because I need to actually figure out what's being said in here. When it comes to tournament organization, I'm not too much of an expert. That might be more of a William Wellman question, but just give me a moment, Sean. I will address it as best as I can momentarily. Okay, setting up the game. Your expedition begins. Heroscape Expeditions is a new way to play Heroscape that can be played with dos, tres, o cuatro players playing through a series of connected games called an expedition. Each player recruits an expedition party, a group of 8 Heroscape army cards that represents their full crew of adventurers descending into the subterranean depths of the Citadel. Each game takes place in a separate dungeon room, filled with cunning traps, mystifying puzzles, and dangerous monsters that create the Citadel's environment. And in each dungeon room, players choose a smaller assortment of figures from their expedition party to form their army for that room. Okay, so it's interesting. It's almost like an RPG type style thing. The goal is to collect secrets by overcoming these challenges, outwitting your opponents, and gathering long lost treasures. The player who has the most secrets at the end of the last room in the expedition is the winner. Will be the big winner. Okay. Building your expedition party. So you got cards, different kinds of cards, characters. Building your expedition party. Build your expedition party by choosing 8 army cards and their figures. Your choices must include at least 4 unique heroes. As usual, when selecting, and I heard actually, I read in the chat, because I actually was reading the chat today, just a tiny bit, that when I think developing your army, uncommon heroes are considered unique heroes as well in this format. As usual, when selecting army cards for your expedition party, you cannot select more than 1 unique army card with the same name. So that means you cannot have 2 or 3 or 4 Raelins at the same time. I think for the 8 cards you can bring, if you have 3 common squads, that counts as 3 cards probably. Not sure though. Yeah, hold on. Okay. Okay. In each dungeon room required, you choose a smaller section from your expedition party to play that room scenario. Set your figures beside your army cards to indicate They are alive and ready for adventure. As your figures are destroyed, you will set them on the army cards to show that they have been defeated. So that's why you have a bunch, and then you choose which one you want to bring into the environment, because probably, depending on what environment you're going to, some figures might work better than others, is what I'm thinking. So, optional rule. Drafting for Heroscape Expeditions. Here we go. Drafting of 3 players. Yeah, because, okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, Sean. Yeah, that's an intricate question, so I think we need to get into the rulebook more before we address that. Optional rule. Drafting for Heroscape Expeditions. Drafting with 3 players. It is possible to play Heroscape Expeditions by drafting your expedition parties. If you choose to do so, start by selecting... Okay, so this is drafting rules. Okay. By selecting a number of army cards equal to 8 times the number of players, so 24 cards for 3 players. Then each player rolls the 20-sided die and begins to what is called a snake draft. Player 1 rolled the highest and goes first by picking 1 army card. Player 2, next highest, goes second, picking 1 army card. Player 3, or lowest, goes third, picking 2 army cards as they are at the end of the order, and then the order reverses. Player 2 gets to choose again, pick an army card, and as reached to player 1 again, they pick 2 army cards, the order reverses again. Player 2 chooses again, picking 1 army card. Player 3 chooses again, picking 2 army cards. Picks continue in this manner until all players have 8 army cards, which become their expedition parties. So that's a way to do drafting. So that's cool. So you got 2 ways to do it. Example of expedition party. Note it contains at least 4 unique heroes. So yeah. So I think Nick, for yours, you start with 8 cards, and you can have for common squads. Yeah, it would probably be for that would probably count for 3 cards. Yeah, I'm thinking. I think for expeditions, commons probably aren't gonna. Well, I mean, they might be good, but I think it's a different type of format. I think unique squads are probably going to be playing a better role here in these, but I mean that's just me. Sebastian, how you doing? Hello there. We're just getting started, sir. I'm just reading the rules of the Expeditions Rulebook, and then we're going to get into the scenarios and the lore. I can't wait for the lore. We got lots of lore, lots and lots of lore, but I'm starting with reading the rules first. Setting up your dungeon. Okay, when setting up Heroscape Expeditions, decide how many dungeon rooms will make up the dungeon. 3 rooms is recommended if you have the terrain tiles, but you may connect even more for a longer expedition. Again, depending on how many terrain tiles you have. It might be to where, and it's like, say, Ryan, well, Ryan, I have only like a little bit of terrain tiles. Well, what you can do, you can set up, if you only have enough terrain tiles to set up one possible room, quote unquote room, then just build 1 room and then do the expedition for that room, and then tear down those terrain tiles and just make another room. If you got to go to brass tacks there for just that, if you got limited resources for terrains, then just do that. You know, it's that easy. 3 rooms is recommended, but you can connect even more for a longer expedition. You may choose to build each room 1 by 1, disassembling the last room before building the next. There you go. If you have enough Heroscape turn tiles, you can build all the rooms at once and connect them. Yeah, see, designing dungeons on page 6. My goodness, how many pages we got? We got 10 pages. How long is this going to take? Creating a treasure pile. Okay, yeah, treasure glyph. Okay. I might not read all of this unless it's important. Because it's a lot to go through, and we still got to go through the scenario parts too. The last step before you begin your expedition is create the treasure pile. Take a number of random treasure glyphs equal to at least 2 glyphs. For each dungeon room in your dungeon, shuffle them and create a pile, symbol side up, next to the battlefield. This is a treasure pile. Do not include the chest of Brandar or the glyph of Brandar in your treasure pile. Yeah, please don't. Each time you begin playing a new dungeon room, you will take treasure glyphs from this pile and place them symbol side up to the battlefield. And if you do not have treasure glyphs, I'm sure I might say this for all I time then. When treasure glyphs are destroyed, they are removed from the game entirely and not returned to the treasure pile. Revealing a treasure glyph. Treasure glyphs are revealed when a figure successfully picks them up, at which point They are turned power side up and moved from the battlefield to that figure's army card. Once all players have chosen their expedition parties and you have assembled, expeditioners assemble! At least the first dungeon room. Follow the setup instructions for the first dungeon room and begin your expedition. Okay. So yeah, when it comes to treasure glyphs, if you do not have treasure glyphs, like look up what treasure glyphs are online and then just make some. Just, it's easy. Just, just write pieces of paper and those can end up being your glyphs. Daniel Chan says, yes, each copy of Common Squad counts as one of your 8 cards. I wouldn't recommend stocking up on too much commons. No, I can see how in this event, I think uniques would probably be better. Just saying, because commons tend to be what they are for the skirmish side of things, very, very expendable, and maybe a little too expendable for this. But, who knows? Playing the game. Players will have an opportunity to earn one or more secrets in each dungeon room. After playing through all the dungeon rooms, the player with the most secrets wins. But beware! It is possible to lose secrets if every figure you control in a room is destroyed. So even if you've gathered many secrets, you must be sure to defend yourself against others to keep them to the end. Typically, your goal in each room is to complete the scenario objective that will unlock the room's exit door. It's like an escape room type thing. Unless the dungeon room states otherwise, when you begin a round with an exit door that is unlocked, the game will end at the end of that round and the room will be complete. Players continue in this fashion until they've completed each of the dungeon rooms. In Heroscape Expeditions, the goal is to collect the most secrets by the time you have completed all the dungeon rooms. Players collect secrets by fulfilling the unique objectives in each dungeon room. My goodness, we're very thorough when it comes to describing things here. I think in my mind, just like, my goodness, the amount of work that is done with this. Whew. Choosing your army. Before playing each dungeon room, you must select an army from the forces you have included in your expedition party. Each room has a specific point total allowed and may also limit the number of figures you may include. Ah, there you go. You choose your army for any undestroyed figures in your expedition party, figures that are beside the army cards, until you have chosen figures that fit within those limits. Okay, so it depends on how many you can have from each room anyway. If you choose a squad where some figures have been destroyed, you must still count the full points cost for that squad, but can only use the undestroyed figures. Interesting. So that's why, okay, you might think twice before using a squad. That might be good. You can have up to 4 unique heroes, but doesn't mean you can't. You could use all 4 unique heroes as well. All right, gotta take a drink. Wandering monsters. Awesome. Some runes include wandering monsters. Any player may place order markers on a wandering monster and take turns with them, even if all their other figures have been defeated. Wandering monsters are not considered controlled by any player, even when that player uses order markers to activate them, and are not part of any army, but otherwise behave just like any normal figure. Wandering monsters make leave-in engagement attacks against all figures. Being eliminated. If all of a player's figures on a battlefield are defeated, that player is eliminated from that dungeon room. Players who still have figures on the battlefield each roll 1 combat die in the following order. Okay, so I think this is okay. If a player was eliminated by another player's attack, leave-in engagement attack, or special power, the order begins with the attacking player and continues clockwise. If a player was eliminated by a terrain effect, scenario rule, or the cause, players roll in the current initiative order. If a player rolls a skull, they steal 1 secret from the eliminated player and add it to their own tally. And if the last remaining player loses all their figures in some way, perhaps to some of the Citadel's punishing traps, they lose 2 secrets. Okay, these are important things that you'd have to really remember. If any of a player's figures successfully exit the dungeon room through the exit door, see next page, that player cannot be eliminated and their secrets are safe. Okay. So, okay, we need to see, is there healing? Okay, well, I see rest, because I know Sean is asking a question about healing. I haven't gotten to that yet. All right, entry doors and exit doors. Each room has a condition, which, well, let me review this a second. So, wanting monsters, choosing an army, okay, being eliminated. So if miniature being defeated means if all your figures are, that means you've been eliminated, and players who still have units there can roll a combat die and can steal things from you from that elimination. So it depends on how many secrets you have too. Sean says, "Don't skip ahead on my account." No, it's all right. I'm keeping an eye out for it. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Entry doors and exit doors. Each room has a condition which will unlock the exit door to the next room, and a corresponding marked exit door space. Until the unlocking door condition is met, the exit door is considered locked. It's locked, I tell you, locked. After the exit door is unlocked, figures may extend one space of movement to move from the exit door space off of the battlefield. They are placed beside the army card as they exit the room. Figures attempting to exit a room in this way may still suffer leaving engagement attacks. Oh no. They might try and run out and still get fried. I can actually see that. Like I get if I like animate something with this, I'd be like someone's running out the door, you know. Let's just say it's a common squad figure that's running out the door trying to make the exit, and then they get like lasered by a trap or something, and then just vaporizes in front of your eyes before being able to exit. Like, missed it by that much, you know. Remember, when the round begins with an unlocked exit door, the game will end at the end of that round. Okay. After a game in a dungeon room ends, the room is considered complete. So whenever the exit door is unlocked, not the round that it was unlocked, but the next round that begins with an unlocked exit door, then the game will end at the end of that round. So that'll be last round after it's unlocked. So, Billy Rages, when the exit door is unlocked, you must yell, "Get to the chopper now!" And we have, I don't know if Warpig, are you still there on Twitch side? Because we have the wonderful AI commenting. The AI spam is on the commenting. So if you're still there, if you can handle that, you probably already are. But if not, then I'll handle it in a moment. Okay, remember, when round begins with an unlock exit door. Okay, yeah, okay, we already read that. Entry door spaces show you where to connect each dungeon room to other rooms, but figures cannot move through them into previously completed rooms. Okay, right. Why exit a room? What is the point of moving through the exit door when the game is soon going to end? It can be a way for your figures to escape the room without taking further wounds, preserving their life, or treasure glyphs for the rooms to come, and to protect your secrets from possibly being stolen by your opponents. Exactly. It'd be good to yeah, it's about it does. Well, I haven't done much D&D, but yeah, it feels a lot like that for sure. Hall spaces. It's quite unique though. It's a fun style. Figures that move off an exit door space presumed to be moving into an invisible hall space that connects the current room to the next room. When playing with connected dungeon rooms, you may represent these hall spaces with physical Heroscape tiles. Okay. Yeah, or just let them be road tiles too. I could just design a hall, you know, just build a hall to where it's like as soon as that they just, you know, they go to a hall and it's the same looking hall the whole time. Like the dungeon rooms are different, but they go to the hall. It's like this feels like it's the same hall, but we're going to a different room. Then going out of that different room, then it looks like it's the same hall. You can do that little bit of a uncanny valley feel to it. All right, here, hold on. I'm just double checking real quick. Okay, I am going to take care of this spam bot myself here. Excuse me while I take care of this myself. We are being spammed on one side, so going to say goodbye. Da 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 da, and boom, and there. No spam for you. Okay. Looking good. We are looking good. All right. As I don't know if you guys know this quote. This comes from an old TV show. Moving on. All right. You can guess that it might be before some of your guys' time, but for me, I know exactly what that's talking about. Between games, rest. After completing a dungeon room and before beginning the next room, each expedition party has a chance to rest. Several steps happen during a rest. Clean up. Remove your figures that were destroyed in this dungeon room from the battlefield and place them beside their army cards. Your destroyed figures must be placed on their army cards so you can tell the difference. Every destroyed figure you have should now have wounds on it exactly equal to its life value. Remove any excess wounds. Okay. Okay, so there. Knight Primus Adelburn was not destroyed in the last dungeon room, so he's placed beside his army card. Knight Irene was destroyed, and the number of wounds she has matches her life value of 5. Yeah, Sean. I think the both options of drafting or non-drafting are there. So, all right. Figures on other cards. Return any figures that have been placed on a different figure's army card or glyph card, such as Mizrax, the Kari Warrior, with her life drained spirit. Okay. Or a Festering Honor Guard with Clean Maledrix's Infestation 9, or any figure in a Krampus basket. Place them on their own army cards if they were destroyed in this room, or beside their own army cards if they were not. Okay. Okay, so they're on 1, and they move back on the card, but they are dead. Mizrax is returned Kilcorax's card to her own card. Okay. Still dead. Healing. Okay, now here's healing. For each destroyed or wounded figure in your expedition party, roll a number of combat dice equal to their life value. For each shield rolled, you may remove 1 wound from that figure. When the destroyed figure has wounds removed in this way, move them from their army card to beside their army card to indicate they are no longer considered destroyed. You may also remove 1 additional wound from each hero or squad that was not part of your army in the last dungeon room. Interesting. So they kind of like self-generate. Okay. So Knight Irene as example, Knight Irene has 5 life, so she rolls 5 combat dice. She rolls 2 shields. She removes 2 wounds and is placed beside her army card. The destroyed Frostclaw Paladins rolled no shields for any of their 4 figures, but because their army card sat out of the last room, they remove 1 wound from 1 figure on that army card. 1 Frostclaw Paladin heals a wound and is placed beside its army card. Okay, so that's healing. Let me go back to Sean's original question here. Where is it? Okay, I'm curious how TO... does that mean Tournament Organizer? I don't think I need a Tournament Organizer. Will deal with rolling for healing. Do they roll in front of their previous opponent, watched by the TO, or roll in front of their current opponent? Will TOs have to tally losses? I don't think it's that complicated. It sounds like for healing, I mean it's a little bit more intricate, but really, as long as you take your time with it, yeah, Tournament Organizer, yeah, okay. I don't know how many, like, if there's going to be events with this at games. I'm guessing there probably will, or because I'm thinking this is going to be more of private events. Really, I don't even know for smaller events if there is going to even be a TO around looking at everything. I think everybody just has to just be decent and play fairly for it. I mean, even though it is a little bit more stuff to know, it's still pretty simple. And I mean, you have the guide here to show you how it's supposed to be when it comes to the healing aspect. So I don't think a TO needs to be over someone's shoulder the whole time, unless, you know, there's something to debate with it. But it's pretty self-explanatory. Those who, you know, have been in like a room and have come out dead, when that dungeon room is over, then you roll, you know, the amount of life that you roll, the amount of dice for life it has. And if you roll shields, then you take some life, and enough wounds get off, then you can make that being as alive again. And they show also how it works for unique squads as well, for healing. So if you just put one shield, and so you get an auto shield for each card if they haven't done that room. So that brings some of your guys to life right away. But notice with unique squads, it's just one wound remove, one wound marker remove. So for a unique squad, you just be able to bring one out if they're a 2-life squad. 1-life squad, then they're just, you know, one's out right away. But yeah, that's a terrible roll if that's the case. Just seems like larger events will be impossible to run with this due to tracking everything and to keep everyone honest. Quite possibly, but again, I don't know to what extent these will be played as effectively as the skirmish event games that we play. Like, say, for ScapeCon next year, will there be an Expeditions happening at ScapeCon next year? Maybe, but I don't think it's going to be on all the time. And it's probably going to be more of a private, not a like event to where like you're winning prizes or anything. I could be wrong, but just based off of my limited knowledge on events, I have a feeling this is going to be more of a casual type thing than a competitive type thing. I think that's probably William's more intent. Again, I could be wrong on that, but I feel like this is just going to be more casual thing to play with friends and fellow community members if they just want to have a fun time. So I don't think it's going to be a thing super competitive. Now I could be wrong. Like for Gen Con maybe next year they might have a competitive event for this. In that case, yeah, you probably would need someone to just to monitor things fairly closely. But hopefully they'll have enough people for that, for the big events like that. For stores, for store events, it might end up being a little bit more casual. I don't know, but that's just my thoughts on it. I could be totally wrong on that. All right, Thorming. Okay, there's more examples here. Okay, figure resources. Okay. Let's look at this. Some figures such as Destro, Gimbal, Takanawa, Kaiga begin the game with treasure glyphs. Yes, they do. During the rest, if these treasure glyphs were left on the battlefield or are held by friendly figures, you may return them to their original army card for use in the next room as that army card instructs. Interesting. If these treasure glyphs on the army cards of enemy figures... those enemy figures keep them. Oh, and you must start the next room without them. Oh, okay. So, okay, held by friendly figures. Okay, gotcha. So they go back. Okay, under those conditions. But if someone takes them, Sebastian said, I think they wanted to do that this year too. At Gen Con, yeah, I think that would have been a little crazy at this Gen Con. If one of these treasure glyphs is destroyed for the rest of the expedition. I can tell just by reading this rulebook that this is a bit more complicated than what we usually do for the skirmish type of events. So this would definitely take a lot more planning, a lot more considering what dungeon rooms you got to build, a lot more space to use, even though, again, it depends on how many people have entered. Again, I consider this more of just a casual, fun thing to do instead of a competitive thing. Figures that begin the game with terrain tiles or that place polyglyphs such as Iwashia, Master Tides, or Zenithrex the Vineweaver. Would you like to have Zenithrex in this? Woo! Remove all such place tiles and glyphs from the previous room and return them to the army cards. If a figure has a special power that uses markers, reset the location of those markers according to their army card. And here we got an example. Thorman pulls back his golden command markers during the rest stage. Zenithrex takes her vine glyphs from the last room, and the molten crustaceans recover the lava tiles they placed in the last room when they were destroyed. And see, so we got examples of Common Squad here. And we got the crabs. So it's possible for Common Squads. Depends on what you want to build, really. And the molten crustaceans recover the lava tiles they placed in the last room when they were destroyed. Destro, however, cannot take his jump pack back because it was taken by an enemy hero. There you go. Treasure glyphs. Figures. And there's Sylvaris. Sylvaris is there, yes! Figures are generally allowed. I'm playing Sylvaris every time I do an expedition game. It's just, he's in there. It's just, he's an auto include for me. Figures are generally allowed to keep any treasure glyphs they pick up for the duration of the expedition. During the rest, you may transfer treasure glyphs from any unique hero in your expedition party to another. Okay. Sylvaris managed to pick up the Cloak of Invisibility in the last dungeon room. He gets to keep it on his army card as the next room begins. There we go. Scoring the game. Each dungeon room has a method which you can earn one or more secrets. When you earn a secret, add it to your total. The number of secrets each player has is always visible to other players. You can represent your secrets by keeping a tally on a pencil and paper, a virtual score tracking app, physical coins, wound markers, or any other convenient method to keep track of your score. Okay, so that's the type of points you need overall. And then once all dungeon rooms in the dungeon have been completed, compare the number of secrets each player has. The player with the most secrets wins that expedition. If two or more players have an equal number of secrets, whoever has the most treasure glyphs on army cards in their expedition party wins. If they are still tied, whoever has the most remaining life in their expedition party wins. Okay, so it's good to collect things and hold on to your life because that may make a difference. Designing dungeons. Dungeon rooms for Heroscape Expeditions are available online at heroscape.com. Really? For designing dungeons? You can also design your own. A Heroscape Expeditions room must fit within the bounds of the following template. Rooms must have at least one door on a corner space marked as an entry door and at least one door on a corner space marked as an exit door. Any corner can be your entry or exit door. This way rooms can be connected to each other in a succession. Okay. So it's all just, we're all just one big great hex tile, hexagon type world. Dungeon rooms must be designed with some other features in common. It must have a defined starting zones for up to 4 armies to occupy, or players must use heat of battle placement seed box. Okay. It must have marked locations for up to 2 treasure glyphs, which must be taken from the treasure pile. See, these are huge maps. You need a lot of room just for, one map setup for an event. Heat of battle and placement. To use heat of battle placement, players roll off to decide who places 1 army card's worth of figures first, then proceed clockwise, placing 1 army card's worth of figures in turn until all figures are placed. Figures cannot be placed on glyphs or next to opponent's figures. When a squad is placed, all members of that squad must be placed adjacent to at least one other member of that squad. Yeah, Oshan, well, it says actually at the beginning that Heroscape Expeditions is a new way to play Heroscape that can be played with 2, 3, or 4 players playing through scenarios. So, or you're saying it seems to apply you and your opponents go through the dungeon together. So in an event, you only have one opponent the whole time. Not necessarily, because it says here in the beginning, it can be played with 2, 3, or 4 players. But maybe if they turn this into a competitive event, it would be 2 players. But honestly, if you want a good competitive event, throw in 4 players in it. Why not? That way more people can play through, you know, if need be. So, okay, where was I? All right, yeah, designing dungeons. Okay, I got a thing or two to say about this. Each dungeon room must also have the following special rules. Glyphs. Describe the glyph setup, usually moving 2 symbol side up glyphs from the treasure pile to locations marked on the map. Expedition players list the points value for their armies in the starting zones where the expedition players begin, or an alternate army placement like heat of battle. Scoring secrets. How can players score secrets in this room? Players typically also score 1 secret the first time they pick up an unrevealed treasure glyph during their player turn. So there's different ways, I think, to earn secrets. Unlocking the door. How many players unlock the exit door to the next room? Or how can players unlock the exit door to the next room? When a round begins with an unlock exit door, the game will normally end at the end of that round. Special rules. Any other special rules for this room? Make sure to include a trap for when a hero attempts to pick a symbol side up treasure glyph. Remember, treasure glyphs are not picked up on a roll of 1 or 5. There is often an additional sequence or consequence. Okay. Okay, default treasure glyph trap. Ancient artifacts. When a hero attempts to pick up a symbol side up treasure glyph, roll 20-sided die. On a 1 through 5, that hero does not pick up that treasure glyph and suffers 1 wound instead. Ooh, so these are like kind of like traps where they could hurt you. You gotta roll 20-sided die. Ooh. Yeah, Nick. I just said that. Yeah. Video when played this expedition, it was him and 3 others facing off on each map. So 4 players, not just 2. Yeah. Don't they have something on Renegade Game Studios for that video? I'll have to I'll try to remember to put that in link in the description too, so people can watch that. Optional, connecting multiple rooms. If you choose to play by building and connecting, if you have all the room in the world, which I certainly do not, multiple dragon rooms, you may do so by linking their door space corners together with 1 hex terrain tiles to represent hall spaces as depicted below. For me, my imagination is, friends, I want to build like just a 1 hall space. So anytime, like I said, if I were to animate this, just for some fun, I would like they go through a room and then get out, and then they just be in a hallway space, and every time they get out of a different room, it's still the same hallway space, to where they're just like, and it end up driving some of the characters insane. That would actually be a fun concept. Okay, but yeah, here we are. All right, hall space. It's like the endless corridor, you know, until you get to another room. Okay, Expeditions game guide. All right, that's a lot of terrain. These 1 hex terrain tiles visually depict hallway into the next room, which figures can move into once the corresponding exit door is unlocked. When placing your connected dungeon rooms, exit doors are always connected to the next room's entry door by hall space. If you have Age of Annihilation Master Set or the Ruins of Lara's Edge terrain set, you may choose to depict the exit doors of your dungeon rooms by using Lar wall connectors and Lar arch pieces, or Lar long wall pieces as depicted below, by placing 1 hex terrain tiles beneath the Lar wall connectors and setting up a Lar arch or Lar long wall, my goodness, that's a lot of words, between the exit door space and hall space. You might choose to use a LLW to represent a locked exit door and remove it, or replace it with an LA piece. I already said those, I'm not saying it again. To represent the door becoming unlocked. Yeah, you can do different things. It's just basically you can make up different things. And just different examples. You got the artwork there, and you got Expeditions game guide. Now I'm not going to get into this. We'll get into this scenario another time. I just know there's actually frequently asked questions, so let's go through these real quick. If anybody has any questions, and then we're almost actually an hour into this stream, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to read through these, and then I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll start reading through the lore and scenarios. So, okay, frequently asked questions. If I use Mind Shackle to gain permanent control of another player's figure or a wandering monster, what happens? Answer: It is added to your expedition party and remains under your control for the remainder of the expedition. Whoa! The value of Nikaksa or Kimoshi just gone up. Wandering monsters that you take control of in this way are no longer wandering monsters. Whoa, so you can actually add, like you start with a party of 8, but you can add people to your party? That is so cool. Everybody's taking Nikaksa now, just for that chance, you know. Do uncommon heroes count as unique heroes? Oh, here we go. For the purposes of the expedition party building requirements. For the requirement of having 4 unique heroes in your expedition party, uncommon heroes would qualify. You may include multiple copies of uncommon heroes in your expedition party as normal. Sebastian saying, "Oh my gosh, that's terrifying." Yes, I know, it's terrifying and awesome at the same time. And I just did the Kimoshi short last week. If you guys haven't watched that, watch that little short of her showing off her mind shackle in the short. How do abilities that say at the start of the game function? Abilities that say at the start of the game refer to the start of that particular dungeon room. For instance, Crimson Widow can choose a different unique squad for her higher crew ability in each room. That's cool. All right. So that's a nice clarification. How do abilities that say this figure, you know, and it would be fun actually to do expeditions. Some of you might not be familiar with this, but it would be fun to do expeditions with some VC unique heroes too. That would be fun, because I could do pirate crew with brute gruts, with the widow. You know, that would be fun, and turn them to pirates. That would be kind of fun. And Nick's saying Mindbender would have so many choices from 3 opponents of who you'd want to take over for a turn. Yeah, that's just crazy. That's just insane. That is just absolutely insane. How do abilities that say this figure does not start the game on the battlefield function in expeditions? Okay, so like Airborne Elite, for example. What if I want my guys? As per normal Heroscape rules, figures start the current dungeon room's game off the battlefield if their special powers require it. Figures that begin off the battlefield still count towards the number of occupied spaces in your starting zone. Okay. If your starting zone has only 4 spaces, taking Vord Glide Strikers or the Airborne Elite would fill all 4 spaces, even though they would start the game off the battlefield. A player who begins with all 4 figures off the battlefield does not count as eliminated until at least one figure they control has been destroyed. Okay, so you could go through a room. I'm just trying to like say if I have the Airborne Elite and they want to enter into a dungeon room. I don't know how they're dropping into a cavern, but okay, that's being that. But say they drop into the I spend time, you know, rolling for them to drop into the cavern, and they don't. Yeah, I still have some uniques, you know, there that are still doing what's required in that room. They don't die and they exit. Then they wouldn't be eliminated as long as everybody survives. So it is a risk. It's a shame, because I would have loved to. Yeah, for me that's actually. I understand why they use that there, but it's kind of disappointing, you know, that off the battlefield ones still have to remain off the battlefield, because then you got to think twice. Do I really want to use them, you know? And it's a shame, because their usability then is just lessened. The little disappointment for tonight, just the tiny disappointment, because I like to use my guys, my Airborne Elite. I never use them. Now question. Can destroyed figures that I haven't included in my army be placed in a dungeon room by special powers? For instance, in the last room, my Revenant Acolytes were destroyed. They aren't included in my army for the current room, but I have a Revenant hero. Can I use Risen by Revenant to bring a Revenant Acolyte into this room? The answer is no. And there's an explanation. Figures only count as previously destroyed. If they are in army that you've brought into the current dungeon room and were destroyed in this room, other figures in your expedition party are not accessible to you. Okay, so they only count if they were destroyed in that current room. They can come back. But if they were destroyed in another room and you didn't bring them back, then no. Other figures in your expedition party are not accessible to you. This includes any squad figures that were destroyed when you choose that squad to play in this room. Additionally, only the special powers of figures in your current army apply in that room. Ongoing abilities from other figures in your expedition party cannot help you. Yep. There's a small starting zone in the dungeon room that I'm playing. Can I take only a few figures out of a squad? Okay, so this is like, and I was actually kind of thinking that at the beginning too. For instance, only 2 Frostclaw Paladins out of the squad of 4. Heroscape's normal starting zone placement rules dictate that if you cannot fit all your figures in your starting zone, then you can drop figures until your army fits. In this case, the 2 drop Frostclaw Paladins do not count as destroyed, but do not begin on the battlefield and are not part of your army for this game. So yes, you can. So that's cool. When that room is finished, they are placed back beside their army card to indicate they were not destroyed. So, in other words, yes, you can do that. So that's cool. Okay, let me look back up in the chat here if there's anything I need to address. So that's basically a rulebook. I can give my overall evaluation on it in a second, but let me just see. Let me look at comments real quick. This doesn't look like it's always a draft, but it seems like it would be more fun to draft. That way you don't run into 1 million Maledrexes. Yeah, just 1 per pod is kind of nice. Yeah, setting up the draft in that way is fine, so you don't have multiple. And I think in a competition, if you were going to do a competition, I think drafting them would be better. Like if you already have, just figures ready to go. If it's anything but competition, if it's still a game store and it's still just a casual play, there's not much stakes. You're just playing for the fun of it. Then I don't think you need to just bring whatever. But yeah, I think drafting for competition. I think you're onto something there, Sean. And Sean says Honor Guard doesn't seem that good in this format due to high figure count being restricted by small starting hexes. Possibly, yeah. But again, there's also the option to, if you don't have enough room, you can remove some as well. So I think there's ways around to virtually bring anything you want to, really. Bill Urger says, good point, Nick. If you could make a random number generator assign a number to absolutely every Heroscape Irony card and let the generator pick your 8 adventure party cards, you get Thraxus and Dune. Yeah. If you had 6 wounds and 8 life, figure you heal during rest, so you can have 6 life instead of 6 wounds in between matches, which encourages hero usage. Yeah, I can see how hero usage, of course, is encouraged. Although not really necessary. I mean, it doesn't have to be necessary, but you ultimately still need 4 unique heroes, no matter what. So that is the rule, not the exception. See here, Sean says, it just seems like larger events would be impossible. Okay, I already said that. Run with the stew, tracking everything, and keep everyone honest. Well, hopefully everybody, I mean, if you're a Heroscaper and you're part of the community, it's your goal to just keep honest and be honest, because one famous Heroscaper says, who may or may not be Ken, no jackwagons here. We just be nice. And Sean says, it seems to imply you and your opponents go through. Okay, we already addressed that. And the video as well. Let's see what else. The troll is the new meta. Regeneration and lots of life while being uncommon. Says Sean. Is that feral troll? I'll have to find out. So you can stay in the game if your figures are gone and didn't finish the sentence. Okay, that's all right. It's a lot taken. So overall evaluation of what Expeditions is about, it seems like a lot of fun. And when I'm reading through it, I'm just like, okay, it might take a few more read-throughs for me to get everything. But again, it seems like something ultra fun that I could do with my son. And just, two of us, and it could even bring in other family members, and it just seems like something that you can have a lot of fun with. I mean, it's going to take more time, a lot more preparation than your normal skirmish game, but it's still, there's a lot more interaction involved. It's a nice setup. I know this takes work. I mean, I'm sure it took William. I don't know when they started saying, okay, we need to think and work on this, but you can tell it's it's just a question. Okay, so you can stay in the game if your figures are gone. Yeah, if all your figures get wiped out, yeah, because eventually there's going to be healing. Healing is encouraged. You're more than likely to get some healing more often than not. So eventually, like throughout the whole process, you're going to have something to play with. They might have heavy wounds on them, but you're going to have someone to play with. So yeah. But yeah, for the rulebook, that overall evaluation, with the exception of like saying the Airborne Elite is not as included much. I mean, you can include them, but it's going to be tough for any any miniature that's out of the battlefield, because you risk, depending on who you have in your army, you risk having them eliminated without even playing them, and that's not great. That's not great. That doesn't bring warm feelings to my heart. So yeah, that is Heroscape Expeditions. Looking at that rulebook again, it looks like a grand time, and I think they set something up that should be really fun, as long as you have the time and the materials. And if you don't have all the time materials, I mean, there's things you can do to still like DIY some things to still have like just as fun. And you might just transition to where it's just something a little bit smaller. Doesn't have to be this exactly, if you're doing just something casually or at home with your family, But yeah, good for Heroscape Expeditions. Sounds like a great way to start a fun series. Yes, yeah, and Sebastian says, yeah, seems fun. Yes, okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to be hopping over to these scenarios soon, but what I have to do right now, I am going to take just a quick break, because we have been streaming for an hour and we've only addressed the rulebook. So please allow me just a few minutes of a break. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop open the, let's see, I got to find the right card here. I'm just going to put my break card up there, right there. I'm just going to put that up. I'll play something in the background too. I think I'll play, if all you haven't seen any of my stop motion stuff, I'm just going to play the start of Tales of Valhalla Season 2, because that's got a good general, it's got battle scenes and stuff, and it's like for several minutes, so that'll give me time to do what I need to do for break. So I'll be back in a few minutes. If y'all need to take a drink or something, go ahead, and I will see all of you soon, and we're going to get to reading these scenarios and more. Can't wait.
It all began many years ago.
Men, we're under attack. It's time to defend the castle.
Yes, sir. Leading the way, sir.
I don't want to fight. I want me tea. Is it tea time? Oh, look! There's the dragon!
Rush my enemies.
tea. We were in the middle of pure war. All our thoughts and goals were for the findings of the well springs and the destruction of our enemies. But something
Okay,
happened.
that's the head being chopped off here. We're gonna cancel that out. Bring this back on. Okay, we're back up. We're back up. I just gotta find where the brakes off. Okay, there we are. There we are. And okay, folks, we have actually tonight a guest with us. We got Jeremy. Hi with us, Jeremy.
What's up?
Jeremy, how you doing? How you doing? Are you this is now I was pondering the when this whole thing actually got started. For some reason my internal microphone volume, it keeps on going down, so I'm like readjusting it real quick. Okay, hopefully I'm louder now. My goodness. All right, but when it comes to making expeditions and all of this, do you know when this idea started?
I know they were talking about it definitely last year. There was a lot of plans for it then because the discussion around what exactly the Citadel was going to be and how it would tie into the main story.
Mm-hmm.
It brought back memories of how they used to do the Battle for the Underdark launches. So the Dungeons
Right.
and Dragons sets, they used to be built like a campaign setting, so you could do like one map and then attach it to another map. They started that with the Battle for the Underdark set,
Mm-hmm.
and then all the other online scenarios that came out worked the same way, like came out in dungeon rooms. So you would have like 4 different maps, but you could build them all together and then play this one big, massive mega map scenario. And so since we're technically revisiting that region that was referred to in the Dungeons and Dragons launch, they decided they wanted to do something similar to that dungeon room gameplay style, and that's where it all started.
For sure. Yeah, it does, and some people are saying in the chat too that has like a D&D type feel, but still like kind of like uniquely still Heroscape like. I mean, it's got a little bit more rules than your typical skirmish game, but it's still knowledgeable. You know, it just takes a little bit more time, a little bit more terrain and effort, but it's certainly doable and can be enjoyable. I think for mostly casual settings, in my opinion. Oh, excuse me. But so the scenarios then now, as opposed to the scenarios we used to have for Age of Annihilation, these particular scenarios are going to be just like expedition type scenarios, and so that's how we're going to play them now. So Nick says it'll gain a much wider audience for events. Yeah, hopefully. Like I said, it's you got to play it in good faith, I think. But it just seems a little bit more intricate than your typical skirmish game. So it's quite the thing to come up with for sure. All right, let's read through the lore then. Okay, so this will be for online scenario. Path to the Citadel. Sonlen from the pen of Sonlen. Sonlen's journal continues. Let's see what he's saying. Now, Jeremy, what I typically do when I'm reading through these lore things, I just read through all the pages of lore first without comment, and then I go through it a second time and break down and comment, give praises, critiques, whatever through it. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. So let's start here. From the pen of Sonlen, Dagmar, the 8th of 281 AMR, searching the world of Valhalla is searching. After the defeat of Thorman, the Valkyrie generals expected a reprieve, a time to rebuild and determine the future for Valhalla. With Utgar's vanquishing at the hands of Leviatak, followed by the thwarting of the Crimson Fleet's endgame, the generals once more sought peace and cooperation, meeting at the table once again. Encampments were formed around that cracked plateau, with banners flying side by side for the first time. 4 factions have emerged among the 8 Valkyrie lords. Each of these united powers proposed contrasting ideals for the nascent age of Reformation. But a mighty storm descended upon this second summit, and all present were forced to retreat, seeking to reconvene once the chaos of the Wellspring storm settled. Yet, alas, no settlement came. I don't know what they were expecting. I'm sorry. Okay, no comments until later. At one of my routine envoy meetings in the aftermath, the mighty dragon Zelrig, delegated ambassador for the Clockwork Combine, declared that his lords Einar and Valarak have declared war on the Umbral Covenant. Okay, so we got declarations of war. He accused the Covenant of withholding crucial knowledge of an underground city from the rest of the council, and of murdering the Clockwork Combine's scouts. Thyraxis, the Covenant's ambassador, rebuked the Combine's aggression in the affairs of her Umbral lords and stood defiantly, knowing that a dragon would not dare breach our charter of diplomacy to attack while convened. This rising tension left Konkan, ambassador of the new alliance, and myself, of the Verdant Pact, with many questions. From what we were able to glean from the belligerent parties, the Umbral Covenant had discovered a massive complex deep within Murkheim, resembling descriptions of a fabled fortress from Valhalla's ancient past. As the council broke, we all knew this would be the last time we spoke in peace. This citadel offers untold opportunity, and without an agreement on how to harness the resources and secrets within, now all four factions will contend for control. I myself have declared neutrality in this new conflict, naming the wise Awashia to be my successor as ambassador of the Verdant Pact. I now depart once more from Uller's realms, this time not as an exile, but as a friend to all who still believe in peace for Valhalla. Okay, and then from the pen of Sonlen again, Dagmar the 8th of 281 AMR. The Wellspring Storm still rages. As armies head into the depths below, many cries are caught in the storm's wake and left without enough aid to rebuild or survive. Abandoned by their lords, the people need a protector. Rather than join the armies of our masters delving into the Citadel, my companions and I shall operate here on the surface, seeking to heal and rebuild with the blessing of the Verdant Pact. It is thus that I now head to the outskirts of Kremland, where a recent spin-off arm of the storm recently tore through, stealing away all caught in its path to worlds unknown and leaving strange travelers from distant lands in its wake. That realm is treacherous, and the people in those scant desert villages will undoubtedly be a low priority for the Combine to protect. My companions and I will be there to resolve tensions, rebuild what is destroyed, and if need be, put an end to any malevolent beings deposited by the Wellspring Storm that cannot be reasoned with or pacified. I write this the night before my sojourn. I shall be accompanied by Major Q11 and Sergeant Drake Alexander. The good sergeant especially requested to be dispatched from the New Alliance to assist in this mission. This is so cool! I'm sorry. Okay, I'm fanboying out. Apparently, he has already befriended some of the first groups of wayward people brought in through the unstable rifts, and he would be happy to be reacquainted with the soldiers from his home world. From his description, they sound reliable and could be invaluable allies if things in Krumland become too hazardous. So as the Valkyrie search below for answers and power, I search above. I search for the broken and scattered, the forgotten and the meek, and in the borderlands I shall face whatever devastation the Wellspring Storm brings. I can only hope the Verdant Pact's oath to silence the ceaseless tempest comes to fruition. War is a constant companion here in Valhalla, but the magic of these torrential gales and reality-warping cyclones threatens to unravel the very planet if it is not stopped. Amazing. I know there's no one on the bottom here. Hold on. Okay. From the pen of Shiori, 10th of Dagmar. So this is 2 days later. 281 AMR. Sonlen. While you head for Krumland, I have begun my journey to the Citadel. An old mentor of mine has been delegated as one of Einar's top administrators for the Clockwork Combine's efforts in Murkheim. He specializes in weather forecasts, shadow magic portents, and just about any other topic he can learn about. I don't know if he has any insight on how to stop magical dimension rendering tsunamis, but if anyone in Einar's court would have an idea of what we can do to weaken the Wellspring Storm, it will be him. Perhaps he has some theories that the Combine's scientists haven't approved yet for research. I shall report back with my findings. So far, my brief homecoming to Einar's lands have been surprisingly uneventful. I know Einar would love to have me hanged publicly for desertion, but my association with you has afforded me a certain celebrity status as one of those who helped defeat both Utgar and Thorman. Still, it is best I do not overstay my welcome, so down into the Citadel I go. My friends from Einar's courts have informed me that the reach of the law behaves differently down here. Shiori. Interesting. So she's got a mission herself. Okay, wow. All right. So let's read through next day. And Sonlen is so wise, and the pact is the greatest alliance. Yes, exactly. Agreed, sir. Agreed. Okay. Let's read this again. Okay, so from the pen of Sonlen, Dagmar the 8th, 281 AMR. And remind me, Jeremy, what does AMR mean?
AMR is after Miggle's rise.
There you go.
So it's the
281 years.
It's like the AD of Valhalla.
Right. Okay, searching the world of Valhalla is searching. Yes. After defeating Thormund, the Valkyrie generals expect. So we're just getting like in this first paragraph, it's basically just a recap of everything, a real short recap of everything that's going on, which is fine for anybody who doesn't know. So I don't really need to go through that too much. Encampments were formed around that cracked plateau with banners flying side by side for the first time. 4 factions emerged among the 8 Valkyrie lords. Each of these united powers proposed contrasting ideals for a nascent age of reformation, which didn't go too well, as we know from like the last scenario, which I actually uploaded today because I forgot to upload the video versions of last month's scenarios, and I was looking at it today. I'm like, oh darn it! So I did that. Jeremy, I've been like doing a lot of stuff lately. It's just, it's hard to keep track of everything.
Busy.
Yeah. Okay. And each of these, okay. But a mighty storm descended upon the second summit, and all present were forced to retreat, seeking to reconvene once the chaos of the Wellspring storm settled. Yet, alas, no settlement came. No kidding. Okay, this is one big rant, and I'm just going to rant because nobody's at home right now on my end, Jeremy, so I can shout as much as I want, and it doesn't matter. Do we have any intelligence here? Okay, I'm not saying to the writers, I'm saying to the characters themselves. Okay, so I can be specific. Okay, guys, look. If there's a big rift magic storm that your enemy made, and after the enemy disappeared, it's not closed. It's not gonna close! Expect it to destroy everything and move as quickly as possible to fix the problem. And if you don't know what even the problem is, then figure out what the problem is, and then figure out how to fix the problem. Don't expect it. It's like, okay, say if you come down with the flu, it's like, well, it's just the flu, I'll just sit around and wait till it gets better. No! See a doctor to make sure that you are 100% sure it is the flu, because it could be something else. And then you take the right medication for it. And if it is the flu, then you got confirmation, okay, it's the flu, and then I'll get better in a few days. This is not the flu, people. This is not the flu. This is something that not only can, and I have this, sci-fi gears running in my head, so I'm just thinking, this isn't the potential that can destroy just Valhalla. If it's bringing in people from other times and universes, it could tear apart the fabric of the entire universe. This is universal multiverse ending type things happening here, people. Okay, I think I got that first one done. So... and Daniel's saying, Sonlen be like, I'm neutral now, but also the pact is clearly objectively correct. I hope they win. I don't know if you have anything to say about that, Jeremy, when it comes to the because we really don't know much about it. There's still much that needs to be explored about it on how to fix it. Am I right in that aspect, basically?
Yeah, at this point, it's just happening, and everyone's trying to figure out what to do in the wake of its existence.
Right.
But it's very fresh on the scene. So.
It's just, again, I had this huge rant like the last month when it came to just like, it's like they did their thing with Thormund, and then like I think it was like 2 weeks later, and then they start meeting, and it's like, oh yeah, there's that Wellspring storm that we just totally ignored for 2 weeks. Duh! I'm sorry. Okay. I'll eventually let it go. I just, it just eggs on my mind. All right. At one of my routine envoy meetings in the aftermath, I think though that all this is pretty darn well written. Though this is it's a good place to start overall for this. So and it's cool that Zelrig's mentioned, guys. Zelrig is mentioned. You know what that means, guys? Do you know what that means? The possibility to have a recreated Zelrig is there. Because I don't know about you, but if you want a Zelrig, you don't want to spend $200 to $300 to $500 for the darn thing. You don't want to, so that's awesome. Hi. Okay. I might be here all night, Jeremy. Just saying, just going through all these, free things. I'm just saying, you might be like, Ryan, I need to drop, and I'm like, we're still on this thing. Yes, we are. All right. One of my routine envoy meetings in the aftermath of Mighty Dragon Zelrig, delegated ambassador for the Clockwork Combine, declared that his lords Einar and Valorak have declared war on the Umbra Combine. So, okay, you do bad things, I do bad things. I'm going to fight you now. Yep, type things. He accused the Covenant of withholding Crucial. You did a naughty thing, so now we're going to punish you. Crucial knowledge of an underground city from the rest of the council, and of murdering the Clockwork Combine scouts. Yes. Wait. So, okay, to the Umbral Covenant. Oh, yeah. The well, again, this whole I think actually weaker than the alliance of Ukar and Jandar. I think that the weakest alliance when it comes to like keeping strong ties is Revna and Vidar. And it's not even Revna and Vidar, it's Revna and Queen Kirion. Vidar's got nothing to do with it, It's like I wouldn't trust Revna any farther than I can throw her, which would probably be just a speck. It's like that one still confuses me. Other than just for the sake of, because the script demands it, this is how it must be, basically. So, and I know Kirion was in a corner. She was definitely in a tight corner, and so Revna, does this, ex machina. Okay, I'm going to save you from the pirates. And so I understand why, that, and that was actually a really cool scene. That whole like event scene, you guys go back and read that. That was actually like, as far as like describing a battle, and then the ex machina save. That was a really cool moment. So, not discounting that. It's just incredibly confusing to me. That I'd like to see in the future, Queen Kirion just ultimately she really doesn't trust Revna. She's just playing her to her own unique ends. I think both. It'd be funny if just like, hey, I know you're playing me, but we're still gonna go through with this. It's like they're both playing each other until they can get what they want, or until the others outlive their usefulness. That would be fun if both are thinking the same thing. Okay, where was I? I don't know. I'm gonna go on tangents all night, I think. Okay, so yeah, they're accusing each other. Thyraxis, the Covenant's ambassador. Thyraxis is an ambassador. That's so funny. Rebuked the Combine's aggression in the affairs of her umbral lords and stood defiantly, knowing the dragon would not dare. I love the comedic levity here. Knowing the dragon would not dare breach our charter of diplomacy to attack while convened. It's like, okay, I'm not going to run away now. I'll wait till later. This rising tension left. Okay, I know chat's lively here. Let me Okay, here. Let me catch up with chat here. Otherwise, it's going to get way ahead of me. Dan Chance says, yeah, the beginning is meant to mirror the first AOA online scenario recaps intro. Yeah, for sure. And Daniel's saying, Storm is not the flu. Ryan, if he was at the second... They need me there for sure. Yeah, that would be... need a Tails miniature there. I'd just be ranting the whole time. I mean, technically, if Savaris were there, I could just inhabit that character. Nick's saying, they mentioned lots of figures returning that aren't here yet, but Zelrig would be pretty nice. Yeah, Cobra with Serpentor, though probably still isn't afraid of Zelrig, the Emperor. Probably not. Daniel's saying, also worth noting, all of this is hot off the tails of Black Scar Battle Box scenarios, a short version. Yes, Daniel, actually, I read those scenarios on Sunday. I went through the entire rulebook, an entire scenario book, and now it's my recommendation. If anybody's getting started with Heroscape, that's the best battle box. The best bang for your buck to get started with Heroscape, to understand the lore and the characters and how to play the game. Get the battle box.
I'm still waiting on mine.
That is a must for anybody who wants to get started, who wants to learn. If you want to develop interest in the game, or if you're like, oh, let me try it out, that's the best one. It's a lot better than the original Battle for the Wellspring box, and that was good. Don't get me wrong, it was good, but this one's way better for sure. So yeah, thank you, Daniel. And yeah, they successfully fought it. Yeah, and that scenario is so cool. Like, you literally have like the at one point the cave walls eating, like, basically absorbing you. It reminds me of in Naruto, Jiraiya's ability to where he can bring out like a toad intestine tunnel wall that ends up absorbing his enemies. It reminded me of that. This is really cool. Anyway, I'm not going to rehash what we already did. Okay. Vidar wouldn't make an alliance, says Sebastian. Exactly. That's my thoughts, really. Hence why they probably left Vidar out, because it wouldn't fall into his character very well. They successfully fight off the Covenant. Okay, read that scenario. Daniel Chance, Vidar loves making alliances. Keeping them is another thing. Yeah. There's also a scene with Kyrian and Revna working together at the end of the Black Scar booklet. Did I forget to read that? I forgot to read that. I think that's on the very back of it. Actually, I think that's the one thing I forgot to read on Sunday night. Okay, Jeremy, we got one extra thing to read. Because I don't remember whether or not I read it. Now I'm doubting myself. Second guess. Thank you, Daniel. Aye. Okay, I'm just getting this out. Okay, yeah, I know. I still need to read this lore. We haven't even read the scenario yet here, but yeah. Did I read this? I could have, but I'll read it again tonight and just tack it on if I need to tack it on. So, okay, I'm having it in front of me. So, Jeremy, remember, we need to read that as soon as I'm done with this. Happy to add more optional reading to the itineraries. Yes, thank you so much. And Alex, the Swan guy, on Twitch saying, whoa, actually, let me go to YouTube chat instead. Okay, go ahead. Either way, Twitch, or just do both. Both watch times help both ends. Okay, so let's continue this. So, sorry, guys, for that distraction. I did want to keep up with the chat. All right, this Rising Teshin left Konkan, ambassador of the New Alliance, and myself of the Verdant Pack with many questions. From what we were able to glean from the belligerent parties, the Umbral Covenant had discovered a massive complex deep within Murkheim, resembling, so not Murkheim itself, but a complex deep within Murkheim, resembling descriptions of a fabled fortress from Valhalla's ancient past. Here we go. As the council broke, we all knew this would be the last time we spoke in peace. The Citadel offers untold opportunity without an agreement on how to harness the resources and secrets within. Now all four factions will contend for control. So it's like, yes, there's this Wellspring Storm region. I'm glad Sonlen recognizes that too. Later on in it, but it's just like, where's everybody else's heads? It's like, I suppose it's like some are saying, okay, yeah, we need to get in there to figure out how to do the storm, but how do they know that? How do they know that within the Citadel there's the key to like quelling the storm? But so that's the thoughts I have. I myself have declared neutrality because since Thorman's gone, someone has to, in this new conflict, naming the wise Awashia to be my successor as ambassador of the Verdant Pact. I now depart once more from Allah's realms, this time not as an exile, but as a friend to all who still believe in peace for Valhalla. That's just a nice little end to that page. I like that. It's showing character development, especially within Sonlen. It's showing him as being not just answerable to Allah himself, but really someone who's starting to think for himself, not as like a mercenary or anything like the pirates are, but someone that's just like, look, I understand that I might have to fight, but we also need reason, and tactical, and as well as just community reasoning, because we're all on the same planet here, and we don't want it to upend on us. So let's figure this out. Anything else? Anything you want to say for end of that page, Jeremy? Any thoughts on that? I'll take a drink.
And just we're getting to see the sparks are flying. Essentially,
Yeah.
This is what's starting everything. The
But
beginning of the new era of conflict.
better reasons than the last time, for sure. I would say. A bit better reasons, because it's like, oh, look, big city underneath. Okay, we discovered it, and someone was hiding that they discovered it. Now let's all go down there, because being underground currently is probably better than the storm that's up above ground anyway. And forget everybody who's living on the surface. They're on the surface. That's okay. We're just gonna all try and go underground. It's just kind of comical when you think about it a little bit.
I do have there's one thing I find really fun about this whole setup.
Mm-hmm.
So, because the thing is, the hints towards an underground discovery has always been a part of Heroscape.
Mm-hmm.
Because originally, right, if you remember from Thorman's journal, when Thorman went to Vidar's mansion and found that secret entrance to the underground area, Vidar was digging holes down there, and they were trying to figure out why, but they couldn't figure out why. And they never followed up with that part. They never continued that part. They were just like, yeah, Vidar's digging underground, and that was it. And they left that alone. We kind
of figured that he was like creating a civilization down there a little bit, right?
No, they say nothing. They just say he was digging holes and he was finding things underneath, and that was it. And they were like, the secrets of Vidar holds is more than we can tell. And then they just kind of moved on. They never mentioned it again.
Well, hopefully we'll find out. Apparently he's digging underground. He's also putting space stations up in orbit. There's also that. We can't forget that either. That there's still that at least one space station up there doing that thing. And
hey, Vidar's got many secrets.
yeah. And hello, let's see here. We have Ruik in the chat saying, and Canadian Spider-Man. Hello. Oh no, good to see you. Yeah. It's me. Good to see you, sir. And I will be sending you an email back sometime. I'm currently streaming. I'm neck deep in streaming right now tonight. So, but it's good to see you in the chat there. Okay, let's continue. The Wellspring storm still rages as armies head into the depths below. Many cities are caught in the storm's wake and left without enough aid to rebuild or survive. Abandoned by the lords, the people need a protector. And I like how just this whole, now this covers the scenario, what's on the surface, And Sebastian's saying, poor Valkyrie missed. Yeah, oh well. Well, his skin suit is still being held on by Revna, so there's that. In spirit, rather than join the armies of our masters delving into the Citadel, my companions and I like how we're bringing back, the original, hero team to be on for the most part. I don't think Raylan's mentioned in this, but at least the team of Sonlen, Drake, and Q11 are still there to try and help people up on the surface. And I see this as a setup, as something that's probably going to come into play much later on in the story. That's probably going to be actually quite providential. Canadian Spire says, love this kind of thing. Grew up on Dungeons and Dragons and on all this stuff. Yeah, Canadian Spire man. This is Heroscape though. It's a little bit different. Although we do have D&D, a little bit, at least in the first run of Heroscape back in like 2004 to 2010. But if you're looking, I'm going to promote the box. Go to RenegadeStudios.com and get this battle box. If you want to try out Heroscape, because this is Secrets of Citadel Battle for Black Scar. It's a really good starter, and it'll help you decide quickly whether or not you might think of it as a really good game. Anyway, Dan is saying Raylan is definitely a bit more involved with the whole New Alliance administration than Drake is, for sure. Yeah, I see that kind of like. I don't think it's a direct separation, but their ideals are kind of getting separated a little bit, I think. Even though I think he still looks up to her and still considers her a friend. It's just that there might be a rift happening a little bit, which is fine. You need like a little bit of conflict in storytelling anyway. But okay, so my companions and I shall operate here on the surface, seek and heal and rebuild with the blessing of the Verdant Pact. It is thus that I now head to the outskirts of Kremlin, where a recent spin-off arm of the Storm recently tore through. So this is just coming out everywhere. Stealing away all caught in its path, and we've seen examples of what that looks like in some of Renegade's lore videos. The Storm recently tore through, stealing away all caught in its path to worlds unknown, and leaving strange travelers from distant lands in its wake. So we're getting other like people thrown in Valhalla just from the wake of the Storm, and others being like sucked back through it. This is like pandemonium, really. That realm is treacherous, and the people in those scant desert villages will inevitably be a low priority for the Combine to protect. My companions and I will be there to resolve tensions, rebuild what is destroyed, and if need be, put an end to any malevolent beings deposited by the Wellspring Storm that cannot be reasoned with or pacified. So protectors on the surface, yes. Nick Snyder saying Sonlen, Drake, and Q11 showing up like Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. Yes. Now I'm thinking of Endgame music in my head now. I write this the night before my sojourn. I shall be accompanied by Major Q11 and Sergeant Drake Alexander. And really, if you're gonna be like in a fight, you could do worse than Q11 and Sergeant Drake Alexander. They're pretty strong figures anyway when it comes to the game. The good sergeant especially requested to be dispatched from the New Alliance to assist in this mission. See, there you go. Apparently he has already befriended some of the first groups of wayward people brought in through the unstable rifts. So this means we might be getting more soldiers, guys. That's a hint. That would be cool.
Specifically, this is referring to his encounter with the G.I. Joe character.
Oh, right. And I keep on tabling that lore book because I haven't gone through that book yet. And I was planning to do it tonight until I realized, I've got 5 scenarios I have to read through for this month.
Lots of stuff.
Well, not running out of things to do for sure. And he would be happy to be reacquainted with these soldiers from his home world. Okay, from his description, they sound reliable and could be invaluable allies if things in Kremlin become too hazardous. But then again, I thought the G.I. Joes weren't supposed to be like involved in anything that's going on in Valhalla, or is that changing?
Well, so that's the nature of the Wellspring Storm. It's tearing holes in reality itself. So that's how they're getting involved, because they show up, right? Dr. Mindbender's machine attaches itself to the storm's effects and was able to pull them all in. Right.
Okay. So the storm and the machine kind of like...
It was a synchronization there.
The machine wasn't supposed to do what it did. And because of the rift, it just created that for them. Okay. Understandable. From his description, they sound reliable. Yeah, again, this is the lore. I actually kind of skimmed it, so I know what it's talking about, but I haven't read it online. I need to do that sometime, guys. I know. Hopefully next Wednesday, I'll be able to do it. From his description, they sound reliable and could be invaluable allies in things in Kremlin. or if things in Crumley become too hazardous. So as the Valkyries search below for answers and power, I search above. That's a nice defining line of what's going on. I search for the broken and scattered, the forgotten and the meek, and in the borderlands I shall face whatever devastation the Wellspring Storm brings. Excuse me. I can only hope the Verdant Pact's oath to silence the ceaseless tempest comes to fruition. So at least our Verdant Pact, at least our faction is looking to seal the rift, so that everybody should be on their side. Just saying, that's the alliance we need to be on. With Alar and Keela, they're the peoples. Okay, the war is constant companion here in Valhalla, but the magic of these torrential gales and reality-warping cyclones threatens to unravel the very planet if it's not stopped. And in my opinion, it can unravel the whole universe, because this is stretching everywhere, apparently. So, yeah. And, when you're doing some type of world building, you really need to create stakes that are high. So I love the stakes. Where we're at right now, where just everything's come ended. I mean, these are situations now that that need to be solved and that carry on the storyline. So no, it's good. And then now for people wondering, okay, where is Shiori? Here she is. She's on another secret mission, people. And again, I love the little bit of humor in here. I mean, it's a serious situation, but we still have a little bit of humor over there. So they're saying, Sonlen, while you head for Crumland, I've begun my journey to the Citadel. An old mentor of mine. Now, who is she talking about here? Do we know, or this is someone that's not mentioned yet?
You got to keep reading.
Okay. Well, I don't think it says a name. An old mentor of mine has been delegated from one of Einar's top administrators for the Clockwork Combine's efforts in Markheim. He specializes in weather forecasts, shadow magic, portents, and just about any other topic he can learn about. I don't know if he has any insight in how to stop magical dimension rendering tsunamis, but if anyone in Einar's court would have an idea of what we can do to weaken the Wellspring Storm, it will be him. Perhaps he has some theories that the Combine scientists have not approved yet for research. I shall report back with my findings. So far, my brief homecoming to Einar's lands have been surprisingly uneventful. I know Einar would love to have me hang publicly for desertion, but my association with you has afforded me a certain celebrity status as one of those who helped defeat both Utgar and Thorman. Still, it is best I do not overstay my welcome. So down into the Citadel I go. My friends from Einar's courts have informed me that the reach of the law behaves differently down there. Shiori. So again, I still don't know who it is, so I don't know. So is it just someone we don't know yet?
You got to keep reading it.
Okay. Oh, so you mean the other pages, right?
Yeah, the other pages.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that momentarily. But first, anything else you want to say about these first few pages on this particular, scenario, bit of lore, this Thorman's journal, whatever number this is going to be? It's like, I don't even know how to number this anymore because there's no numbers. Anything else to think about for this?
Nice, fresh new chapter. And the thing is, it's mentioned all the heroes that were involved from day one, right? We got the characters that worked together from Swarm of the Morrow, and then were brought back together and kind of worked together during Age of Annihilation. Now they got this new mission, and they're kind of splitting up. I like the dynamic here because that was a thing, especially when the Wellspring Storm was being discussed. It was like, this is a massive world-changing event, right? So it's not only is it going to push the Valkyrie to have to make new decisions, how is it going to affect the world around them? That was one thing that we were discussing, and I know this is part of that kind of a showcase. Not only are the Valkyrie having to make decisions, but the people in the villages, they're getting their lands are getting destroyed by this storm. So Sonlen wants to help them out, right? Sonlen's going to be a hero to the people. And so he's going to be doing some different work than what we would expect.
It develops his character. I think it's a good good move to develop that character for sure. Yeah, gives you a reason to like them. Again, you gotta present hooks into characters to give them something that the audience is going to appreciate and value that character more. So yeah, it's good character building. All right, well, so that's it. The first read through. That's gonna be a long video to edit out. From the pen of Sonlen, Sonlen's journal. Number next, whatever number this is gonna be. Secrets of the Citadel. So, but he's not going into the Citadel. He's remaining on the surface, which I'm sure the that story thread will reveal itself more in the future. All right, and now let's get into a scenario part of this. So, scenario, path to the Citadel. Let's read through some of this. So
I gotta step away real quick. I'll be right back, though.
Okay, no worries. I will just start reading through this. Okay, required sets. This is huge. Lands of Valhalla, Age of Annihilation Master Set, and Forest of Valhalla. And let's read this. After giving your supplies one final check, you set off on your expedition. With your companions by your side, you head into the unknown. As the forest thins, you see it, just as described by your scouts, a sinkhole collapsing into the depths below. Many paths lead into Murkheim, but until now, only Black Scar Chasm was known to lead toward the gates to the elusive Citadel. This new path downwards into the caverns is a prized resource, and soon the full might of the Valkyrie will wrestle for control of this sunken hollow. Let your armies come, for you and your companions will have already slipped inside. The Citadel awaits. So, cool. So I suppose, which one? Okay, we have... This is a lot of levels on this thing. But apparently it's at the center? I guess we'll find out. Yeah, how many levels? This is like 8 levels. Wow. Yeah, so this is a fairly like tall, thick build for this. But there you go. Anyway, okay, pillars. I imagine there's going to be something that represents where the sinkhole is. But let's get into, so that's the map, definitely a unique map. All right, online scenario, path to the Citadel, master game. And here's your 2-player start zone, and then 3 to 4 player start zone there. Let's expand more. Okay, entry door space, exit door space. So it's an entry, yep, at the top, and then you exit at the bottom. Okay, so you exit somewhere down there. All right, because this is still considered a dungeon room for like this type of now scenario. For expedition scenarios, the discovery of the Citadel has turned the eyes of the Valkyrie generals to Elswyn, whose gnarled forests obscure a road to Murkheim called Black Scar. The sheer force of the Wellspring Storm has changed the landscape of Elswyn, tearing open new entrances to the caverns hidden below. As expeditions surge into the Citadel, many rival parties vie for access to these new paths into the wondrous fortress. Such encounters become a mad dash to secure an early lead and lay first claim to whatever secrets are yet to be discovered. As the swiftest forge ahead, those trailing behind see an opportunity to thin the competition here and now before anyone even makes it to the ancient gates. So it's basically just a race against time trying to get to the entrance. Glyphs. The dungeon room does not use... This dungeon room does not use any glyphs, yes, because you're still above ground. Okay, damage chances. The whole area is a sinkhole. Think of the sand star zone as road. Okay. Interesting. All right. Yeah. All right. Expedition players. Expedition players build 400-point armies with no more than 7 figures from their expedition parties. With 2 players, use only starting zone spaces marked in pink. With 3 to 4 players, also use the green start zone places. Yeah, bigger start zone for more. Placement is heat of battle, but only in the starting zone spaces. Yeah, and we already read the Expeditions Rulebook. Any figures that cannot be placed are held and reserved and can only be only be placed by using the reinforcement special rule. Okay. Secrets. Score 1 secret each time your unique heroes exits the battlefield via the exit door. And at the end of game, proceed to point scoring. Yeah, that's already described. So yeah, we got expedition rule set. We already read the rule book. The player with the most points remaining on the battlefield established control on the path and scores 1 secret. In the case of a tie, the one with the highest remaining total life in their expedition party scores this secret instead. Okay. Unlocking the door. Exit door is unlocked from the beginning of the game, so you don't have to worry about it being locked. The game ends at the end of round 4, so you only have a little bit of time to get to that door. Special rules. Reinforcements. At the end of each round in initiative order, the players may take turns in placing any unplaced figures in their army that were held in reserve in the marked starting spaces, following the same placement rules during setup. Yeah, I don't see so much as fighting as just trying to make it to the entrance, basically. It's like, I mean, you can choose to fight, or you all can just run. Oh, let's just all run to the entrance. Is there any like way to let's see here? Yeah, no, it's just exiting the at the end of the game. Proceed to point scoring. The player with the most points. Yeah, there's really no incentive to really fight each other in this, to be perfectly honest. I mean, obviously it's Heroscape, you'd want to, but honestly, I'd just be like, hey guys, do you just want to make a run for the door? Let's just all make our guys run for the door, because you have armies here, but there's no incentive rules. I mean, you earn a secret when you get to the door, unless you don't want other players to have a secret. That your goal is to tie down enemies and wound kill them so they can't make it in. Yeah, that would be the only the motivation, or a race ahead of them to score more. It depends on how fast of a movement figure you have too. And if you don't have one fast enough, then yeah, you would be wanting to engage against ones that are faster than you. Since this is room 1, getting some early wounds in and forcing your opponents to have to heal going forward is a good opening strategy. Oh, that's true. That's true, Daniel. Yep. That is interesting. This is just like a whole new realm for things on how to actually do scenarios, because I'm so used to reading scenarios that it's a different kind of take when it comes to the Age of Annihilation. Like when we get like a tome of Secrets of the Citadel, or Tome of the Citadel, it's like, in having these in here, that's just going to be a very interesting book to have. It's definitely gonna have a lot. You're gonna have a lot more pages, probably, but that's okay. We love bigger lore books for sure. But yeah, so the map's good. Scenario just fits well as being the start of where you got to go through in the story, and again how you're gonna use your strategy when getting into the Citadel. So yeah, overall it's fine by me. Again, and I'm just now starting to do like opening Heroscape scenarios with my son, so I don't know when we're actually going to get to this. But it's just another grand way of starting to play Heroscape in a more, D&D type setting, more of an RPG type setting actually. I guess that's how you put it. It's an RPG type setting. So yeah, great way to start using it again with the lore on how things are just like the earth is being rendered asunder. So yeah, that's taking a look at online scenario Path to the Citadel for Heroscape Expeditions. Okay, now that we did that, let's do the scenario in the rulebook, the actual rulebook. Get to it. All right, and this one is okay. I can see. Okay, yeah, Gates of the Citadel. Okay. Okay. So number next is the Gates of the Citadel scenario, and that comes from the Expeditions Rulebook. And so required sets is you need Battle for Black Scar battle blocks, which I have, and the Ruins at Lars Edge, which I do not have actually. Don't have a lot of ruins. Okay, and it says you leave behind the last steps of your trek through these dismal caverns, and you finally see it. Gleaming purple in luminescent fungal light, the Citadel is real. You had your doubts until seeing it with your own eyes. Better yet, no one appears to be close to the gargantuan copper doors that beckon you deeper into the shadows. You creep closer onto the metal floor that surrounds the gate, but you are jolted by the grinding sound of ancient machinery as your foot lands on a sinking panel. A trap. A glowing eye in the door begins to peel open, shining with cyan light. You can hear your enemies stirring as the noise draws them towards you. This might get ugly. This is where the fun begins, actually. So, yeah. Simple. It's pretty much actually more of a simple map as compared to the previous one. Oh my goodness, the way is shut. Now, someone put the way is shut, and if you don't say, oh yeah, I got that straight from Lord of the Rings, then I don't know how you got that from, because the way is shut is a direct Lord of the Rings quote. Okay, setup. Gate spaces, entry door space, exit door space. So entry, okay, so you exit through, so you start here and you exit through the door. Nice. All right. Daniel says, you can thank William for that reference. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think both me and him are definitely Lord of the Rings aficionados for sure. The Citadel, the buried home of Irelar, an ancient race of who were the ancestors of the Kiri and the creators of the Wellspring. So those of you who didn't know that is a thing. Actually, it's mentioned in the Tome of Annihilation a little bit. But here we go. As the Wellspring storm rages...
back.
He's back. Okay. Jeremy, again, help me again with the name of that ancient race. Irelar?
Was it Erelar?
Erelar. Okay, there we go. I was doing E instead of E. Erelar. Okay, there we go. As the Wellspring storm rages above, all Valhalla turns their eyes to the Citadel in hopes of finding answers to stop it. But the Citadel might offer far more than a return to sunny weather. As expedition parties from the world above descend into its ruins, they encounter their first obstacle. Before they can explore the Citadel, they have to get in. And the door has a mind of its own. Ooh. So for this, you have, okay, you take 2 simple side-up treasure glyphs from the treasure pile and place them on the marked glyph location. So right before the entrance. Expedition players each build a 200-point army with no more than 6 figures, so smaller army because it's a smaller map, from their expedition parties. Placement is heat of battle. The players dice off to decide who places 1 army card's worth of figures first. They'll proceed clockwise, placing 1 army card's worth of figures at a time until all figures are placed. Figures cannot be placed on glyphs or next to opponents' figures. When a squad is placed, all members of that squad must be placed adjacent to at least one other member of their squad. And so, wait, and start zone, is start zone just basically anywhere for this then? Or is it like gate spaces right there? I'm not sure. Wait. I guess I'll find out. Okay, places. Where's the figure? Okay, yeah, it doesn't really specify, so I think any place is a start zone, really. Scoring secrets. Players score 1 secret the first time one of their figures inflicts 1 or more wounds on the gate during their player turn. So we gotta attack the gate. That's alive. Players also score 1 secret each time they reveal an unrevealed treasure glyph for the first time during their player turn. Unlocking the door. When the gate is destroyed, the exit door is unlocked. Special rules. The way is shut. The way is shut. When the game begins, the gate is shut. Figures cannot move into or be placed in the 7 marked gate spaces while the gate is shut. Okay. So what's a gate spaces? Okay, it's there. Yeah, I think it's there. The gate consists of the lower archpiece and 2 lower wall connectors that support it. It is treated as a destructible object with a life 8, defense 3. When the gate is destroyed, do not remove it from the battlefield, but it is no longer treated as shut, and figures are then permitted to move onto the 7 marked gate spaces. So that must be like, yeah, behind there. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what is exactly a gate space, Jeremy? Is
a gate space?
Yeah, is a gate space like all of like this area and then these areas too?
Yeah, the ruin. So whatever's marked off by the ruins.
Mm-hmm. But this is like kind of blue. This is kind of blue too, like the shadow space. Or are they just shadow spaces? Or maybe I'm just not. Oh no. Okay, no. Oh no, it's within the gate. It's within the gate. Okay. Mm-hmm. I can't see well tonight. It's getting tired. It's almost midnight, and we're nowhere near done. Yay! Okay. The burning eye of the gate. Hey, if you guys are with me, I'm with. Sebastian says, "I'm sorry, my phone died." No worries, no worries. My brain is not dead yet, so we're still going. The burning eye of the gate. When a figure ends their movement, even if they move 0 spaces on an ancient terrain tile, check if any part of their red hit zone can be seen through the gate from any angle. Wow, okay, that's some thinking. Viewing through the lower arch piece from the side that has the exit door, if it can be seen, roll a 20-sided die. On a 1, the figure takes 3 wounds. Wow. On a 2 and 8, the figure takes 1 wound. On a 9 through 20, the figure is safe. So it's opposite of what it usually does. After the gate is destroyed, do not roll for the burning eye of the gate. Okay. So this happens when the gate is still active, but after you destroy it, then that's not active anymore, right? Is that what I'm getting? Yeah. Okay. That's fun. Treasure, glyph trap, the Aralars, right?
Yeah.
Aralars, welcome. Okay. When a hero attempts to pick a symbol side-up treasure glyph, roll the 20-sided die. On a 1 through 5, the hero does not reveal or pick up that treasure glyph, and if the gate has not been destroyed, it immediately makes the burning eye of the gate roll against that hero. Woo. On a 6 through 20, the glyph is picked up as normal. Turn the glyph power side up and place it onto that hero's army card. Yeah, no, this is where the fun begins. It's where the fun begins. And Nick's saying, when I watched him play, it seems like the start zone was always just wherever you wanted to be. Yeah, it doesn't specify really any start zone. So yeah, and there's not really that much space, so it makes sense. It makes sense since you gotta try and destroy the gate anyway. So, nice. So, yeah, this has got like a D&D feel. Even if you've never played D&D, you know, I've played 1 round of Pathfinder. That's my closest. That's my closest experience with D&D. With Pathfinder is kind of like D&D like anyway. So this has a lot of vibes in that, but still in the Heroscape sense. So, and you got mushrooms here too. Now, if you step aside a mushroom, would the gate be able to shoot at you? Or that's just for normal attacks?
It has to see you.
Yeah.
The gate has to see you. Well, if you're standing on an ancient terrain tile, and the gate can see you, that's when it makes a shot.
Okay. So it'd be more so like in the front area here, probably more in the middle of the field, especially if you're you're trying to get them glyphs, trying to get them treasure glyphs. But yeah, okay. So that's taking a look at the scenario, the Gates of the Citadel. Then again, it's just a continuation, fun. All this is fun. It's just well done. Like the scenarios are different. You know, the monsters are different. The way to play is like different every time, and I don't know when Renegade's going to run out of creative inspiration and then just like, oh, we're just going to do the same thing every time. But it's not going to be anytime soon. I don't think so. Thank your lucky stars. We've got a lot of creative chops on that side of things. So that is the Gates of the Citadel. All right. Now, last bit of lore. I think it's just one page. Yes, it's just one page. So a little bit easier this time. So this is not Sonlen's. I have to find a way to rewrite these things. No, but Heroscape lore number next. And Secrets of the Citadel. This is part of the Frost Bitten Forge scenario, like story lore. So this is Vision of the Forge, and again, I'm going to read through this bit of lore, and we'll comment it after the second time around. So Concan runs a weathered hand over his brow as he surveys the large chamber before him. A red glow illuminates the room more effectively than any torchlight could, and a steady heat radiates from the platform at the center. Strangely, though, a chill breeze bites at his wings from the far corner of the room, where an intricately carved pillar stands partly encased in frost, a pale blue light emanating from the alcoves carved into its sides. His gaze takes in the long-abandoned mechanisms that hold up the ceiling, their use and purpose now a mystery. One thing is clear to the veteran Kiri: this room had once been some kind of forge or workshop. We'll make camp here. Let's secure the other entrances there and there, he calls to the party, making their way into the spacious chamber behind him. Comfortable enough for your taste, is it, Birdman? Said one of the Gnarlfurs. Ah, okay. Gnarlfurs growls. Yeah, we already had some lore with the Gnarlfurs and Concan, interestingly enough. Eliciting a few chuckles from his compatriots, Concan gives a tight-lipped smile, but otherwise pretends not to hear the heckling from the Ursine. Pay them no mind, my lord, Jan says, arriving beside him. Their humor is at least an improvement over picking a fight with anyone who looks at them funny. Concan chuckles in response. Fair enough, though, I did not accept this mission from Lord Jandar, believing it would be a simple task. Peace rarely is in this world. Their conversation is interrupted by a roar of delight from one of the Gnarlfurs searching the far side of the chamber. There's weapons here, and big ones at that. Careful with anything you find, Concan calls back. We don't know what kind of traps the Ancient Ones may have left in such a place. The raider gives a sudden roar of pain. Ah, I can't let it go. It burns. The glow from the forge at the center of the chamber begins to change and brighten. Slowly at first, but with increasing intensity. Ooh, as if the very fires are alive somehow. Concan readies his blade as Gian levels her halberd beside him. Whatever ancient magic shaped this strange yet oddly beautiful place, they will need to tread with caution if they are going to use it as a base from which to further explore this labyrinth. Okay, we're going to read that again. After I burp a second. Ooh. Getting trapped air in there. Okay, Vision of the Forge. Now, when I hear Forge, it reminds me of the Forge on Alpha Prime. You know, that's the first thing that comes to my head. Although I think this is something a little bit different. But that's what I think about. Concan runs a weathered hand over his brow as he surveys the large chamber before him. Let's just look at that chamber. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, there's lava. Definitely lava, yeah, okay. We see something like that. A red glow illuminates the room more effectively than any torchlight could. So that means, lava. And a steady heat radiates from the platform at the center. Strangely, though, a chill breeze bites at his wings from the far corner of the room, where an intricately carved pillar stands partly encased in frost. So we have like a room full of lava, but also a colder area. A pale blue light emanating from the alcoves carved in its sides. His gaze takes in the long abandoned mechanisms that hold up the ceiling. Their use and purpose now a mystery. For now. One thing is clear to the veteran Kiri. This room had once been a kind of forge or workshop. We'll make camp here. Let's secure other entrances there and there, he calls to the party, making their way into the spacious chamber behind him. Comfortable enough for your taste, is it, Birdman? One of the Nofers growls. I like how they call him Birdman. Because he's not a bird and he's not a man. You know, that just... you know, it's kind of contradictory. One of the Nofers growls, eliciting a few chuckles from his compatriots. Oh, and by the way, I got some Nofers here, unpainted, but yeah, and there. Actually, played them at the event I was at in Louisville last Saturday, which we can talk about that.
Nice.
In a little while, but first let's finish this. Okay, get some tight lips up, pretending other. You know, one thing I like though, I like that there's a continuing story because we started with Jeanne d'Arc, you know, and Concan, a beginning story, and I thought that was just brilliantly written out when it comes to Jeanne d'Arc's backstory, and so this is a nice continuation. I like seeing, you know, continual character arcs and threads going through this. I know it's a lot to manage because you have literally hundreds of characters, you know, that you have to figure out how to write about and which one is more important than the other. So, but I like how this is going. Pay them no my lord, Jan says, arriving beside him. Their humor is at least an improvement over picking a fight with anyone who looks at them funny. It's like I like the, you know, little brevity and humor. Conan chuckles in response. Fair enough. Though he did not accept this mission from Lord Jandar, believing it would be a simple task. Peace rarely is in this world. Then their conversation is interrupted by a roar of delight from one of the Nofers searching on the far side of the chamber. There's weapons here, and big ones at that. Yeah, I don't think those guys are too bright. Careful with anything you find. Konkin calls back. We don't know what kind of traps the ancient ones may have left in such a place. Apparently it's too late, because the raider gives a sudden roar of pain. I can't let it go, it burns. And then, so, what do we do with said trap Nollifer? It's like, we kind of leave him in limbo at the end of this page, you know. Does he just become like roasted bear for everybody to feast upon? Inquiring minds would like to know. The glow from the forge at the center of the chamber begins to change and brighten slowly at first, but with increasing intensity, as if the very fires are alive somehow. Konkan readies his blade, and Jian levels her halberd beside him. Now, question: why would they get in a defensive position just for the forge coming online? It's just a forge coming online. Are they thinking they need to fight something?
Yeah,
from
probably
it?
just awareness.
Okay, just trying to keep aware. Whatever ancient magics shape this strange yet oddly beautiful place, they'll need to tread with caution if they're going to use it as a base from which to further explore this labyrinth. Yeah, well, if you're going to choose a base, molten lava that could be has its own mind, it probably wouldn't be the best place to do that. But it's a nice map. I like the map. That's a really cool map. And the snowfields of Valhalla. Okay, so wait. Okay, we can't go that yet. We still got to wrap this up. Okay, so that Jeremy, anything else you want to say about this particular piece of paper that's showing us a vision?
No, it's a pretty clean cut introduction to the new alliances, foray into the Citadel.
I think a lot of the writers here, including Daniel, I think are really hitting their stride when it comes to writing through these scenarios, really setting up story beats. Story beats are important. And if you can write a good story within like a paragraph or two of certain characters and what they're doing, and even just describing them and their personality while you're writing them through a situation, it works so well. And just, Renegade, keep on paying these guys good so we can keep on getting good writing like this. So that is taking a look then at Vision of the Forge from the scenario. The Frost Bitten Forge, and Concan and Jean and company's events and the tellings of their situation. So good read. Okay, and then before we move on to the scenario part, we have Sylvia, your lovely artist, saying, "Hey, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you there. Good to see you in the chat. I hope you enjoy a little bit of the storytelling while I'm currently almost falling asleep, but we're almost done with this. We just got a scenario to go through, and I got to read more of these on Sunday as well. And I got to read this. Well, it's going to be hard to actually do this because I don't have this camera set up. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to wait to read this at another time. I can't be 100% sure if I didn't read it on Sunday though. I have to recheck my logs. To make sure I did that. So, but at least I know I have it out, and I will address it if I need to. Okay, and Daniel's saying, I'm glad Raven carried on Concan and Jean's long-suffering attempts to work with the Nalfers. Yeah, it's an interesting team up. It's got a dynamic to it. It works for them because Gnarlfurs can bond with them. So in a fight, it's actually probably not a bad pod build. All right. So now let's work on the scenario part of this. Okay, so number next for Heroscape Expeditions Expedition scenario, the Frost Bitten Forge master game, and we look at the map here again as we were looking at, kind of browsing it when we were reading the lore bit. It's a nice map. I like this map. It's just nice use of ice and lava. Might be a fun one to put molten crustaceans in, really. It's got snowfields of Valhalla, you need lava fields of Valhalla, ancient lands of Valhalla, and ruins at Laura's Edge. So it does require a bit of terrain to acquire everything you needed for it. And the lore bit here on this is a dull reddish glow illuminates the vaulted chamber before you as you step from the darkened passage. And intricately carved pillars reach to the ceiling, surrounding the raised dais that sits at the center of the room. Lit by searing pools of liquid rock and metal, you would think that such a place should be scorching, but the heat coming from its heart is also met by a strange icy chill. In two corners, you see intricately carved monuments, encased as frost as cold as any glacier of the north. Around the chamber lie long abandoned artifacts and machinery, most of which you cannot discern the purpose of. You step forward cautiously. The room smells of magic, but the opportunity for treasures and further secrets is enticing, especially for Gnarlfurs. All right, and then for Dungeon Room, Frostbitten Forge Master Game, here's the lore for this. At the height of their civilization, the Erelar were masters of technology and metalworking, creating powerful treasures through the secrets of their technology. Though the secrets of their technology have been lost to time, their great forges remain. Fires still burning bright with energy, pillars enchanted with freezing ruins to keep those otherwise unbearably hot furnaces safe to work within, providing a cooling touch and healing properties for the inevitable injuries that come with the work of smithing. Left unattended for centuries, these magics have begun to erode and grow unpredictable, creating a strange and dangerous chamber of both flame and frost. But for the strong-willed warriors of the New Alliance, an ancient forge would make an ideal base of operations as they seek to find answers that may bring peace to this ravaged world. Okay. So I don't know. Again, I don't understand the wisdom of making a place that could literally spew probably boiling lava at you as your ideal base of operations, but maybe it's just because maybe some others might think it not a great thing to hang out around lava. I guess the enemy terrain of my enemy is my friend, I guess. Okay. And okay, for this, so okay, you got your entry door space here and your exit door space here. So you got to make your way through it for this particular room. And then you have the treasure glyphs on either side as well. Okay, and glyphs, take 2 simple-sided treasure glyphs from the treasure pile and place them on the marked glyph locations. Expedition players. Each player selects an army from the expedition party using the following points value and starting zones. 2 players only need to use 400 points each using the purple and green starting zones. Okay, so if it's just 2 players, you use the purple and green zones. If it's 3 players, you use the purple, green, and blue starting zones. So purple, green, blue. And 4 players, and so the points total gets down further. It's like 2 players is 400 points, 3 players 350, and 4 players 300 points each. So 4 players will use all starting zones. And then secrets. So earning secrets once per player turn. Instead of attacking, a hero within one space of the forge may roll a 20-sided die to investigate it. On a 1 through 9, nothing happens, and a 10 through 18, that player gains 1 secret. On a 19 and 20, that player gains 2 secrets. Okay. Well, they could have done, if you roll a 1 on a 1 through a 9, the forge spews fire at you, and then you get 2 wounds. But it didn't, so that was nice of them to not do that. Before rolling, the player may destroy a treasure glyph on that hero's army card to add 10 to their roll. So that's interesting. So it gets you, it gives you a better option of getting, well, at the very least, you're gonna get 1. And if you get, it's a 50-50 chance if you're gonna get, 19, 20 or more to get 2 secrets. So you could basically pick up a treasure glyph and then use that for that. That's kind of cool. Players also score 1 secret each time they reveal an unrevealed treasure glyph for the first time during their player's turn. Okay, and this door is locked, so once 5 secrets have gained in total across all players' teams, okay, the exit door is unlocked. So that means, like, not just 5 secrets for an individual team. When 5 secrets have been grabbed, basically, by whoever, then the exit door is unlocked, correct? Just automatically, okay. Special rules, searing heat. Yeah, I don't think you're meant to last very long in here. At the end of each round, each player must roll 1 combat die for each of their figures adjacent to a molten lava space. If a blank is rolled, that figure takes 1 wound. So it's not the skull or the shield, it's the blank space that's important for that. The magical frost, as snow spaces are a type of snow space calling all snow spaces are a type of snow spaces called slowing snow. Figures that start their movement on slowing snow space reduce their movement value by 1 for that turn. All ice spaces are a type of ice space called treacherous ice. My goodness, they are not holding back on, like, things happening in these rooms. Figures that start their movement on a treacherous ice space reduce their movement value by 2 for that turn. Yep. Healing monuments. Okay. Instead of moving normally or instead of attacking normally, a hero adjacent to one of the 2 triangular lower wall connectors may roll the 20-sided die and consult the list below. So this is a way to actually heal wounds. So on the ice, so lava space, you can get some secrets, but you also have to be careful of getting burned. But in the ice space, you have your opportunity, especially if you took some wounds from the last scenario, or the last few scenarios. This is your opportunity to heal up a little bit as well. So if you roll 1 through 5, nothing happens. 6 to 15, 1 wound healed. On a 16 through 19, 2 wounds healed, and on a 20, you may remove all wounds from their army card. Wow. Imagine getting a 20 and then you just like go from 4 wounds to nothing. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Then Treasure Glyph Trap, Cursed Artifact. When a hero attempts to pick up a symbol, side up Treasure Glyph, roll the 20-sided die. With results 1 through 5, the glyph is cursed. The hero must pick up that glyph, but does not reveal it, and place it on their card, symbol side up. The hero subtracts 1 from their attack and defense values as long as the cursed glyph is on their army card and they cannot drop the glyph or destroy it. Destroy the symbol side up glyph at the start of the next rest phase. On a 6 through 20, the glyph is picked up as normal. Turn the glyph power side up and place it on that hero's army card. That is interesting. Glyph is picked up as normal. Yeah, so ways to use the power. So that is fun. Any thoughts, Jeremy, on that? It's just kind of a cool room. Just something else you can do with the terrain.
The aesthetic's really cool. The idea of this, it's a burning forge, but they have the ice to kind of maintain its temperature.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, makes you think about how the Airlar worked, that they were able to do something like and create something like this. Because these are the beginning rooms of the Citadel. These are the entrance areas. They haven't really dug that deep,
dive deep,
and this is what they're already discovering.
Yikes!
So
the stuff that's making the stuff that they're going to see later. Yep.
Right.
No. Yeah, it's really nice. Again, it's like I don't know how can any more compliment than I already have. It's just keep up the creativity, Renegade. I mean, I keep on saying that. I said that before, at the end of last year into this year, and I think they're listening. Because it's definitely a lot creative for that. So that is taking a look at Dungeon Room Frost Bitten Forge Master Game, the continuation of Heroscape Expeditions. All right, folks. So that, as we say, is that for tonight. And yeah, let's see, chat's winding down. So I suppose what we can do, what am I gonna say? And it's the crack of midnight, not the crack of dawn, the crack of midnight. Mm-hmm. So it's a good time to wrap up. I'm glad we were able to wrap with all that. And then because there's still 2 more scenarios. And C3BMO, hello, good to see you. I like that better than the glyph being trapped for a turn. Makes you be more strategic on who should grab it. Yeah, no, it's, again, these scenarios provide different ways to think about how you're gonna, work in the room. It's just really, really, it's just the uniqueness of it all is really, really fun. I think, and overall, I'm gonna give like one final thought, and Jeremy, see if you agree with me on this. This could possibly be a way, like when it comes to like this battle box, being something to really introduce people into Heroscape. The skirmish game in itself, it's on its own laurels. I mean, Heroscape is one of the best skirmish games out there. But I think when it comes to and the scenarios are fine as well to introduce you to the game. But I think Expeditions, and again, I could be wrong about this, but Expeditions for me is starting to feel more like this is something that's going to be more of a hook for people. This seems like this could expand the community. This could be something that could potentially really expand the community. And I'm sure that was probably Williams and the other people from Renegade's goal in the first place for this. I can kind of begin to see that happening. What do you think, Jeremy?
No, absolutely. It's designed to play differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole different rule set to observe when you're setting this up.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest things about Heroscape's history, and I know for a fact a lot of people can remember this, is the maps, right? The impressive design that you can put together the maps
Yep.
with a full Heroscape Expedition set up. You could have 4 rooms put together and design an event to invite people to test their metal and be like, look, these are 4 rooms. We start at this end, and you got to do each scenario to get to the next end. And I mean, that could be a really fun way to introduce them to the game overall. And it's still not the full original game, right? It's not the way we play the game in general, but it is a different way to test things out. I've already seen in Discord chats a lot of people have been discussing expedition parties now as a form of army design.
There
So
you
that's like
go.
a complete different, because now you
Yeah,
have to
it's a
think about
different
you
way
get
of
you're
thinking about it.
limited.
Yeah,
Mhm.
army building,
You're
theory
limited
crafting.
by what the draft, and now there's a chance to try different things because of that limit. And it's a whole whole different way of seeing the game, and that's going to add new utilities, new opportunities, new ideas, new designs. And I can't wait to see the community in their dungeon rooms, see what they make up. So
Yeah, building your own stuff, you know.
yep, and attaching it to the Citadel rooms.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, it'd be great to see the fan like made like scenario. It just provide it's another level that, like, I mean, if you don't read into it and you don't know it, you're not going to really fully grasp like how important this possibly can be, because it's just providing a whole another untapped avenue into this game. Yeah, it's excellent. I kind of had my doubts on it. Of course, you don't know what you don't know. But after reading through this, it's like this could be something potentially that can really expand things, which is great. It's absolutely great. And Nick Snyder in the chat saying this will definitely expand the community, but also a lot of the dormant community that doesn't want to go to super competitive tournaments might start going to things like the exactly, because and this is how I'm seeing it. I don't think, I mean, this could be a competition, but it would be really tough to have like 100 people playing this in a competition, because you would need a lot of space. I consider seeing this more of like a casual setting. It probably could still be used at Gen Con, but it's just more like casual type play of doing it, you know, taking your time and just having fun with it. Still a competitive element for it, but I don't think it's going to be, again, I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to be as competitive as, say, the skirmish games that we all know and love. C3BMO says, I see young kids getting hooked on these scenarios and working together over competing too. Yeah, again, I think it's a step above what the scenarios used to be. That there is no doubt about that. I mean, that's something you really can't deny. This is a definite, probably like a step or 2 steps above what the scenarios used to be. So yeah, absolutely, it's impressive. So thank you, Renegade. Thank you, William, so much for impressing me. That's, I guess that's the compliment. Hello, Skateboard. We're actually about to wrap up, sir. We've been going for almost 3 hours, covering like the Heroscape Expeditions, and really overall check them out, because they're looking good. Although technically 5 scenarios dropped. I only covered 3 tonight, so I'll cover the other 2 on Sunday. And if I need to, if I can figure it out, I'll also cover what I got from the Secrets of the Citadel battle box as well, possibly too, if I didn't cover that this past weekend.
And the G.I. Joe stuff.
And yes, and the G.I. Joes, yes, that I've had on the back burner for a long time. It's like that was like 4 or 5 months ago. It's like when I was opening them up, I'm like, oh yeah, I have to cover this sometime. Never have, and I know I need to, because it's actually quite good. It's quite good addition to put in there. But yeah, so sorry that we gotta leave Skateboard, but we think about you, sir. We think about you, awesome, and glad you can hop in here at least for the few seconds that we're closing down tonight. Okay, so I guess then we're at Jeremy. Do you want to say anything? Because I know you're streaming a little bit lately.
Yeah. Just finally excited to see this out and about.
Mhm.
You know, the secrets of the Citadel are finally starting to get revealed. You know, we've been mentioning that title for almost a year now.
Mhm.
Now we can finally figure out what it's all about,
Yes.
which is the hype. You know, this kind of launching a whole new era. It's being able to see all that work everyone's been doing. I mean, the team's been crushing it, and I know they've been dedicated and getting these stuff all planned out since the start of the franchise, or getting it back onto the market. So, you know, being able to see that work out and about and in public is super neat, and I'm excited to see how people are going to be able to enjoy it and, you know, look forward to more. I know I actually recently got reinstated into the Wardens of Valhalla, so I can run local events again. I've been working on getting a Heroscape promoted in my local town, and there's a game store called Game Nights, which we now officially have set as a place for Heroscape in the town, which is awesome. I mean, I posted a picture in the Discord how much stuff is on those shelves.
Hmm.
Was not expecting that much, but seeing it all there and just all laid out, it's super exciting. And we have planned game nights every Friday. So every Friday I'm going to be going out there and teaching people how to play, running some events, preparing for Alliance War, which I'm actually going to be attending the one in the Game Castle Austin. I
Okay.
actually have transportation set up to get me down there so I can actually be there and participate in the Alliance War. So
Nice.
getting all involved with all the cool stuff that's happening and just getting excited for the stuff to arrive. So yeah, and still waiting for my secret to the Citadel stuff because I'm one of the unlucky individuals who ordered and got hit by the delay. So yeah. I'm still waiting for my stuff. So
I
everyone
hope
out there
I hope it
that's
gets to you
insane.
soon. I hope it gets to you.
Yeah,
Gets to you soon, too.
I plan on playing one of the characters for my Alliance War army, so I am definitely hoping it gets here before the Alliance War.
Yeah, I hope so.
But
I hope so too.
yeah,
Yikes.
because I don't think I can get away with a proxy.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe you could with a proxy because you have the excuse that like Renegade should have sent this like months ago and they haven't, so can I just use a proxy? 'Cause
Please,
it's their fault. It's their fault. You know, it's not my fault. It's their fault.
This is the first time I had a dedicated pre-order set up for. I'm like, all right, I'll get it a couple weeks in advance, and it's the first one that gets delayed past the date. And I was like, no, why is it the one? And maybe that's why. Maybe I'm the reason the delay happened because this is the first time I actually got the pre-order decent time.
It
and
was
now
you.
it got delayed. It's me. It was me all along. No, but yeah, there's just a lot of exciting stuff on the Heroscape front on my end, and then being able to stream and talk about it, and also get caught up on a few things on my end as well. So what's been going on my stuff?
Very nice, very nice, and definitely check out. I don't have his channel linked below, but it's linked on other videos, and it's the Elysium Colette on Twitch mainly. So definitely check him out because yeah, Jeremy's been a little bit more active lately, so that's a good thing. And of course, I'm Ryan Tales of Valhalla, and Jeremy, did I send you? I've drafted a script. Did I tell you about that?
I knew you mentioned it. You were mentioning work on it, but you didn't send any drafts.
Okay, I need to send you it because yeah, that's the Adventures of Cerberus and Light Folly are going forward. So I'm sending a few people this draft of script just to see what your opinion is on the storyline. So yeah, I gotta forward that to you, sir. But we'll do that. We'll do that later. So thank all of you for watching. Everybody who commented tonight. Appreciate you all. Anybody who popped in for a second, thank you so much. Hopefully we'll see you again on Sunday when we finish up the reading of these. Sunday I'll probably try and start a little bit earlier. I should be able to start a little bit earlier on Sunday now. Try to do it around 8:30 instead of 9:30. So I'm not up till midnight. But yeah, appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Again, for the support, for the views, for the subs, or everything you can possibly do. Thank you so much. You have a purpose in your life. Find it, pursue it, live it, and we'll see all of you on Sunday. Bye now. Bye.